Tank's been boxing since he was 8.
Right.
Tank has over 200 amateur fights before he even went pro. Like, nigga, so it's not impossible. Rolly could absolutely do that. He can absolutely do that. Plus, Rolly hit hard. He hit hard. But I like something that Tank said at the press conference. He was like, "Y'all keep saying this man's an awkward fighter. No, he's not. He's not awkward. I've fought a lot of people in amateurs and everything. He's not an awkward. No, what it is, he fights like somebody who just really came into the gym and he got some kind of potential, but he don't have all the fundamentals, so he doing wild shit. And I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Yikes.
That's
what up, Sean?
Yo, that's crazy. But nah, B, like, you know, I absolutely like I know the fights tonight. I'm looking to see the outcome because I'm Rolly said some crazy shit. Now this ain't nothing that we should be bragging about, right? At all. But Rolly said that Baltimore is number 4 most dangerous in the country. He said,
Fabo.
What's up, Fabo? He said, I'm from Vegas, a part of Vegas. We number 3, so that should tell you anything. So I was like, that don't sound right.
It's not.
First of all, that don't sound right. Second, that's nothing you should be I'm bragging about. But I'm a fact check you because you saying shit trying to do a narrative.
Right.
No. Per population density, Baltimore.
Per capita.
Yeah, Baltimore, nigga. Baltimore. And again, that don't mean that's still even. Let's say that he was right.
Yeah, there's no relevance. Yeah,
stop that shit.
Absolutely no relevance.
Now, like, listen, I'm always going to root for those that I'm familiar with, that I had some sort of connection with.
Right.
I've been around Javante since he was a little ass boy, and then there's a huge gap of time when I wasn't. But I was still rocking with his coaches, hanging with his coaches, working with his coaches, right? So of course I'm gonna root for him. Like, oh yeah, go knock him out. Go knock him out. This is how I am with politicians too, yo. Like, I don't trust not a single motherfucking politician to ever have a ballot cast in their name, except for the ones I personally know. And I only know one of them. And I don't even think she's doing that anymore. I know she's no longer the mayor of Capitol Heights. That's the only one I trust because I know her personally. We used to date. I know her personally. All the rest of these motherfuckers, I don't know them. So when they get up there and they say all this good shit, all this good shit, I'm gonna go, yo,
sound good.
I agree with shit you said, but I don't know.
Sound good and you look good saying it, but
right.
I can't hold you.
Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because we were at one point affiliated, with the media side of that camp. Yeah. Because I have known Calvin and Kenny for a greater part of 20 goddamn years, right? And I've known Tank since he was a little boy, right? I'm rooting for him,
right? Facts.
Regardless, even if I thought Rolly had superior,
matters none.
It don't matter. I'm rooting for Tank. I'm rooting for Tank. Period. That's it.
Without
go in there and kick his ass for running his mouth. Plus, there's a, and I'm sure we not the only ones, but there's a very visceral connection when you see somebody with mannerisms that are familiar to you, because certain mannerisms Baltimore niggas have, like certain mannerisms New York niggas have. So, when he got up in Rolly's face and I was like, oh my God, the North Avenue just came out this thing. Yo, you can see it. You can see it. That North Avenue was like, yeah, all that talk, yeah, you don't got the same energy now.
Right.
Yo, the way he was in, I was like, that's that North Avenue bullshit right there. That's that North Avenue. You need to get your life together before you go to the penitentiary. Bullshit right there, yo.
Right.
So yeah, I'm a root for that, but we not affiliated. I still fuck with Calvin. I still fuck with him. We just not affiliated with the brand anymore. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. But we wish them well. And from what I'm saying, it looks like they doing all right.
Good shit.
They doing all right. You know what I'm saying? They don't need us there. They all right.
Hey, Betty.
What's up, Betty?
Yo, so I stumbled across this site. I'm mad because it isn't being updated anymore. Hasn't been updated for the last 5 years.
Right.
But it's still enough information on it. It's a rabbit hole. Rapanalysis.com.
Oh, jeez.
Nigga.
Jeez.
Wow. It's just, it's.
But when we get to that point, when we get to that point in the show to talk about that, I definitely have a take on the whole concept. That me,
I want to approach this similar, not 100% but similar to how we approach the GOAT metric.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah,
it's just hard to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like for me, when we get to the 80s, I have a distinct memory of the motherfuckers the influential, like motherfuckers that are influential, like they influenced the entire era, and even I see shit from them going forward in the other eras. Motherfuckers walking around with certain styles or aesthetics.
MC.
You know what I'm saying? They still left their imprint on how you rap, how you approach the game, or impact. Like I had a conversation with Graydon. It was on an interview we did. We was talking about the comic book, but they wanted to talk about hip hop too, right? So we were asked. This is one of the early interviews. We were asked, who was our greatest of all times, right?
Like one,
like basically. Cool. That's a hard
bro.
So I tend to go with impact over almost everything else, but it has to have a balance of other stuff.
Right.
You can't just be trash, but because a certain audience that don't typically listen to hip hop likes you, then all of a sudden, I'm not doing that. But I had to look at the first thing I said was me. Nigga, I rap. Me, nigga, me. But then after I got over that moment, because I don't be doing this. I don't be doing that. Like,
right.
When you ask me questions like that, like I'm a spectator, like I'm somebody that was sitting on it. No, I'm gonna say me.
Right.
Fuck out of here. But after that part, because they said, look, it was two interviewers, right? A couple, right? And the girl said, "Okay, I get that. That's respect, but not including yourself." And I surprised the shot of Graydon, yo. I said Jay-Z.
Interesting. I see.
I said Jay-Z.
All right, shut up. We'll get into it later.
We'll get into that shit later.
Yeah, that's a whole. Oh my god.
All I know is I surprised the shit out of it because he did not expect that. Listen, bro.
It's. I.
You understand
without knowing your specific reasons. I understand why you would say that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all.
God. Yeah. This is gonna be fun.
This is the hip hop show today, folks.
Yeah.
This is a hip hop show.
We throw these in every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
And today's absolutely going to be a hip hop show.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, I'm gonna wait till we do our weekly. What happened in the week? Yeah, I'm gonna do that then.
What time is it?
It is.
We can start.
We can start now. All right. Let me get this intro shit together. Throat is a bit parched. A lot of pollen in the air.
Okay. All right. You hear that? That's exacerbation.
I heard it. Me. All right. Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SPJ.
And
I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective. Facts indeed. Now we do have a very busy show today. Things that we want to definitely talk about, things we want to touch on. But you may all notice that Addy isn't here again today. This is another
another overtime
day for him. So we'll see him when we see him.
Hey, as long as they giving him money,
we need to go and take that shit.
Absolutely.
Man. So as to my week, First, an announcement to that effect. So we had a discussion this week. We, as in Majestic Comics, and the Kickstarter's launch date is going to be June 6th. That's on a Monday.
Next Monday.
Next Monday. Yeah, that will be the launch date. So putting that out here right now, and I'll talk about it further some more days after this or whatever to remind people. If you have not already clicked on the notification link just lets you know when it goes live.
Right.
That's all it does. So you can click on that, and that way it'll remind you of doing that. So far, I think last time I checked, it was like 18 people had clicked the notification for it. So we need to definitely do a better job of promoting it, and that's what we're going to do this week. Right. Also, on that June 6th, that is going to be the day when Seth Andrews releases the interview. So looking forward to all of that, getting that out of the way. Synergy, if you will. So this week, other things about this week, it has rained quite a bit.
Bruh.
Yeah, it has. And because of that, grass grows, as it turns out, when it gets fed a bunch of water and sunlight.
Sure. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So now my backyard isn't too bad because I cut that, and I'm trying to keep that to a point where it's not too high, so I can just boom, boom, boom. But also, I want to find a balance because I don't want to cut it too often. Right. Front yard's a little different. I don't cut the front yard anymore. Man said the old man is mad. He can't cut his grass. Look, man. Look, I'm a grumpy old man. All right? I'm a grumpy old man. You know what I'm saying? Like, but because I don't cut the front lawn anymore, we had somebody else to come and do that. They have a much better mower than the one that we had, right? So we could have done it, but it rained. And when it rains,
it pours.
The grass is wet. I'm not ass. The grass is wet. I'm not cutting wet grass. It's not happening. And it's bad for the lawn, too.
Yes. It's bad for the lawnmower, too.
Yeah, and bad for the lawnmower, right? So today, though, it's beautiful outside.
Because it rained yesterday.
Grass is still wet, though. You know what I'm saying? So I might try it Sunday. I might try it Sunday.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good until like Thursday.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna try to cut it, and hopefully, like, it's long now. It's getting a little long in the tooth now. Right. So hopefully, my lawnmower will do its justice or whatever. But that's the one thing. The other thing this week, as I'm sure most of you people know, just my observations. Another shooting.
Yeah.
Another mass shooting. And it's difficult because you don't want to be right about this shit. But we said right here on this show that we know some shit like that's gonna happen again because that doesn't take any amount of real analytics to figure out.
And that reminded me. I remember we were talking. I can't remember exactly what we were talking about. We mentioned the phenomenon about copycat crimes.
Yes.
Yes. So whoever it was, I can't remember who it was that like wasn't sure. This is example. Like even if in this specific example that person wasn't thinking about the other person, they would still the FBI would still consider this a copycat.
They would definitely look at it. They would definitely look at it. And this is the other thing that's just so crazy because listen, I worked in the gun industry for a lot of years, right? And I know what I saw there. I know a lot of the people that's on the outside looking in who you enjoy the product, right? The gun or whatever. You enjoy that. So when you think of anybody limiting what you can own yourself, that rubs you the wrong way. But I got to tell you, when I worked in the industry, it's some fugazi ass shit going on all the time. Mind you, this is not just one company. because in the course of working for this one company, I got to engage with other companies,
right,
other business partners of the owner, different ones like that at gun shows. It's some fugazi bullshit going on. It is, and motherfuckers can deny it. They can play stupid. They can act like it's all some patriot, whatever. Bro, it is some. It's like in any industry, right? There's some bullshit going on, some serious bullshit going on. I have seen things that has been done that if they were caught, they would have handed them 20 years. I've seen things. So I come with a little different perspective on it, because in one aspect, I appreciate what guns are.
Right.
You know, I appreciate what they are. I can't even sit up here and act holier than thou and say that there wasn't a time when I engaged in that shit all the fucking time. This was literally a focus, me and my friends. You know what I'm saying? I can't even say that. I will say this, though. I've seen bullying happen in school. I've been bullied when I was in elementary, right? In none of those cases did any of those kids come back up there.
Yo, you know what's funny about you saying that? I was on the phone. I was talking to Eddie yesterday, and he literally said the same thing. Like he literally, he was like, for everybody that wants to use the mental health thing as a be all end all, Eddie's diagnosed.
Yes.
Eddie's had issues in schools. Yes. Eddie's had issues in other places. Eddie's had access to guns.
Yes.
He never did that. It's a little more.
It's a little more like trying to put it in that box there. I feel
trying to put it in any one box is not. Yeah.
It's a cop out.
Yeah.
It's a cop out. Basically, let me ask Keith argument real fast. Talking about people cutting corners when building them too. All of the above. All of the above. Hold on for a second. I'm getting a phone call. I gotta take.
Word. So yeah, it's crazy. So effectively, now I don't know what the actual requirements are to consider something a mass shooting. But effectively, there have been over 200 mass shootings in the United States so far this year, and it's not June yet. What that means is that we are averaging more than one mass shooting per day. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's no way, and other countries don't have this problem. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't be a thing.
It shouldn't be a thing. And listen, you can try to hide behind the mental health thing all day long, but mental health issues don't only exist here in the United States. Right. Mental health issues are global. Global. Bullying happens globally. Nah, listen, at a certain point, like I saw somebody say, hey, Kristen.
Hey, Chris.
Look, Chris is in here today. I've seen, like, I've heard all of those excuses trying to avoid talking about the inevitable. And to me, it doesn't make sense, because we see too many examples of this. Now, one of the things that I heard being bandied about was that the schools are soft targets. And so since they're soft targets, if you harden the target, it makes it hard for people to do it. Because as you know, I'm sure you've all heard that the only way you stop a bad guy with a gun is with a good guy with a gun. Yeah, but that's not true.
Nah, it's not.
That's not true. And
it's a possibility.
That's it. There potentially a good guy with a gun can stop a bad guy, but potentially. Yeah. But that is not always the case. And we've seen examples in some of these schools where there were security guards, nothing. And mind you, the previous week at that grocery store, there was a good guy with a gun there.
See, that's the whole thing. If there is a guard and you make a big deal about all these places having guards, guess who else knows that there are guards? The person that's going to be doing the shooting.
And coming there with body
armor. Like, bruh, just like the preparedness drills that they do in schools. With schools, if the shooter's going to be a part of the school, guess who else knows about the preparedness drills? The shooter.
Yeah.
So, like, I get it.
It's kind of, this is the other thing. I'm not even really doing a serious analysis. I'm doing just shit, that stream of consciousness coming off the top of my head with this. You're saying, just from the arguments, because you got to move the fact that you like guns out of the argument and actually, like, look at it. You're saying schools are soft targets. Last week wasn't a school. So if you're saying, that these schools need to be, then the supermarkets need to be, then the malls need to be, then all these other places. You know what I'm saying? So I, like I said, yo, like, all of that is being offered up to me in bad faith by a corporation, an industry, right, that wants to keep making money. And so what they do is they scare the population into thinking they're going to get your guns. They're coming to get your guns. They keep saying that, and no one's ever came to get your gun.
Not once.
They said Obama was coming to get your gun. You still got your guns. Every time something like this happens, there's a run on guns. People go, let me go real quick to get my guns, because you know they're going to take them away, and they never take them away. But where's all that money go? That money goes into the hands of this industry, which then takes a portion of that money and gives it to politicians. Now, we can be mad at big tech. We can be mad at big oil. We can say gun. You can't talk about big gun. You can't talk about big gun. Just a few weeks ago, I'm glad you brought this up, Agma. Just a few weeks ago, they were calling teachers groomers.
Yeah.
Just a few weeks ago, they were saying they're trying to brainwash white kids and brainwash black kids.
And these are the people that you want guns.
What's up, Mike?
In their hand.
But you want to put this week,
Mike.
You want to put a gun in their hand. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. For those of you that grew up in the suburbs and never had been in a situation where a gun was pulled on you and you were armed or whatever, I got to tell you, bro, that the average person ain't ready for that smoke.
No.
The average person is not ready for that smoke. And certainly Mrs. Crabtree, she's not going to be ready for that smoke either.
Not likely.
And if you think that it's a smart idea, turning a classroom into the OK Corral, where, by the way, only 2 people died at the OK Corral. I'm just putting it out there. Only 2 people died at the OK Corral. I'm just putting it out there, right? This is a colossal bad idea, and these bad ideas come because of people operating out of bad faith. They're operating out of bad faith, so they tossing all this shit up, much like a gorilla does. You know, when a gorilla gets startled, they start throwing up leaves and shit like this to distract, to make themselves seem like they're bigger than they are. This is the same shit that's happening now. And a lot of y'all are not going to see it because you can't set aside your love of the product. Or your extreme, I ain't going to say love, your extreme like of the product to really look at this and go, okay, if it's not happening anyplace else.
Like, I don't feel like arguing with so I didn't say it, because I feel like we're gonna be going back and forth later. But but this isn't directed at but because you said that, I have to say it now. So we're the only place that doesn't take mental health as serious as it can be. You know, these other poverty, like, there are a lot of places in the world that don't necessarily have the setup to properly take care of mental health,
and we still don't
where people may still have potentially have access to guns,
and we still don't see this.
We don't see it.
Like, like, no one wants to. I'm telling you, it's like there's a lot of things. Like, when you go and tell a man just as an example, yo, you need to go to the doctors more often.
I just had this conversation with, yeah.
And a lot of guys are resistant to that. And they'll tell you, oh, no, I take my vitamins, I exercise.
Right.
Nigga, you need to go to the doctor.
That's not the reason. You don't know all the things.
Right. That's cool. I'm glad you do that. But this is the same type of conversation to me. It's like avoidance. To directly talk about this specific, what is the difference? What's the difference? If there's mental health problems every place else, because here's the other thing about that I find crazy. A lot of people in this country talk about the medical system here. A lot of people talk about that shit, don't they? Right. A lot of people also talk about how they don't want us to have universal health care. They don't want any changes to the healthcare system.
God damn it, I'm not doing this with you all day. Hold on.
Now I see you talking about mental health like you care.
So he said in the impoverished places you're referencing, people still get kidnapped and chopped up with machetes. I bet there would be less violence in the Congo if the proper mental health institutions were in place. That's not the point. You're making a different point. Stop moving the goalposts. You're saying what I'm saying now. You're saying that they don't exist and the goddamn mass shootings don't exist. I mean, you're saying that they do exist. Those issues do exist. They aren't taken as seriously as they should be. And still the mass shootings don't happen. Yes, other things don't happen. They still happen, but we're not talking about other things right now.
I just want to see 21 people get chopped up in 10 minutes by one person.
I mean, right.
Look. Here's the thing, right? There's a firecracker could blow your finger off.
Yes.
But absolutely a bomb will blow your house off the neck. There's tears. There's tears. And we don't want to discuss the tears. We don't.
Right.
When we compare knives and bats to a weapon that holds 30 rounds, that spits out like this and literally is the equivalent of when it hits, especially children flesh, it's like little bombs. It destroys. There's tier levels here. Tier levels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ken says, morning, guys. We banned lawn darts after 3 kids died. A law was passed quickly to protect judges from sidewalk chalk messages. Mm-hmm. Come on, listen, what I'm saying is, you gotta be. I like guns too. I grew up. I grew up here.
Right.
I grew up fascinated with it as a kid. Yeah. Fascinated with it. I worked in the industry. We got to be able to set that shit just right here. Take that, put that right here, and then look at it. I know. Clint Eastwood.
All that.
That shit was dope, yo. Like
Dirty Harry, and
you feel lucky.
Right.
Like I get it. Yo, I was raised here too. Lone Ranger with the silver bullets. Yo, I get it. I was raised here too. All I'm saying is, we looking dysfunctional out in these global streets. Right? We looking mad dysfunctional, and I know we don't like because we done built. I'm gonna say it. We done built this whole spiritual thing about being an American. We done built this up, so we are very hesitant to compare ourselves to other countries. We are very hesitant to do that. But at the end of the day, America is just a country, like all these other countries. Different laws, different rules. You can learn something from other countries too. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Like you can learn something from other countries. And the fact that we keep banding about this exceptionalism stuff.
We are the best.
Yeah, it keeps us from being able to learn from other people. It's like me. I've been rapping for 40 years. That doesn't mean I can't learn from somebody that's been rapping for 40 months.
Right.
Like, until we're ready to have a mature conversation about it and not toss everything in it, they're trying to take my freedoms. And this shit will always be that way. But either way, do what you want. Because I'm going to dodge. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do everything I can up until I'm out. Because a lot of the people that I talk to, that left and they look back and they see this, they go, yo, we don't even think about that shit over here. Right. So we can play that game. Look, Ken is in Colombia. We can play that game. That's what. Also, for the record, if I'm about to go travel somewhere, miss me with the question, is it safe?
Right. Yeah, I'm so tired. Like before I was the way I respond to it before, because it would always come up whenever I would leave the country. The way I would respond to that question before was, yo, that one incident that you heard of that happened down there happened in this city.
Yo,
so what do we?
I'll be right back. I gotta bring something in the house. Right back.
Word. So it's like, that whole is it safe? We're not safe here. We have, and depending on who you are, we have never been safe here. And depending on where you live, you have never been safe there. Like, I kind of get it. I kind of see why people feel that way. It's a fear of the unknown type of thing. But it's like, about here. It's not a surprise. Unless you live a very sheltered life, away from these type of things, and you don't look at the news, and you don't happen to like run across it on social media, then I can see your point. But outside of that, like, it's like you're trying to convince yourself, and that's just not okay. It's not cool. Like, we gotta find something. Well, they gotta find something to do. And you got Ted Cruz running around here blaming it on back doors. He's saying that the one thing that the shooting in Texas had in common with Sandy Hook is that there was a back door. So now he's pushing that every school only have one way in and one way out, and that an armed guard be at that entrance and exit. And it's like, first of all, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's a fire hazard. Like, I'm fairly certain there has to be more than one way to get out of a building as big as a schoolhouse. I'm fairly certain. I haven't seen him say anything about it, especially as vocal as he was about Sandy Hook. No, I haven't seen him mention anything. But yeah, like I said, Ted Cruz talking about one way in and one way out of schools. Who wants? Okay, thank you, Ken. Yes, you kind of have to have more than. Well, that's the thing, Keith. It's like, obviously we can't go down the specific details of every single school shooting, but it's not always somebody from the outside that's doing the shooting. And sure, there are potential things that we can do, but it seems like every single solution that these people offer is a Band-Aid at best. Yeah. Where if you go at the source, it's much easier to solve a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't want to do it, bro. And it's like, I know why this is hard. Like, yo, breaking through that cultural haze is difficult as fuck. Now, it might surprise some of you to know that when I was in high school, senior high, there was a shooting in school. No one got shot.
Right.
But basically, there was a beef from the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And I know most of you are not from Baltimore, so you're not familiar with the regions, but where the school I went to, Edmondson, it's right there in the middle. It's right there in the middle of it's the hood, right?
Right.
So people brought beef from the outside inside at a dance. Nigga pulled out a gun, blah, right? People ran.
The stuff that some of you may have seen on TV.
Stuff that you see on TV, right? But he was going after a specific person. He wasn't going in there with the I'm killing everything that moves. Nah, it was one person he was going after because the beef from outside spilled on the inside. What I'm saying is the neighborhoods that me and James came from, it was guns all throughout that neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And we never had a mass shooting.
Nah. What up, sis?
What's up, sis? The difference was...
Oh, don't make me blush.
the difference, I think the main difference with that was there are certain things, like the bullying aspect of it. Like, people got bullied in that school all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. There was never any... Y'all gonna have to have this conversation.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna have to have this conversation. Y'all can't, because what's happening is y'all trying to compartmentalize it into strictly mental health. And like I said, you need to be careful with the talking points, because
facts. Oh,
the politicians are using them for their purposes, not because they're necessarily for your benefit. If you're getting a bunch of money, campaign money, right, from a certain industry, it doesn't behoove you to speak out too strongly against that industry, or you'll stop getting that money. Stop getting that support. Right? So some of the talk, when they don't even want to have the conversation.
Yeah.
When they don't even want to have the conversation, they dismiss it out head and go, mental health. Trying to tell you right now, y'all keep playing games. Because it's not just the schools. We're only talking about the schools now.
Right.
There was a supermarket just the other week. It's not just the schools.
With all the targets being elders.
All the targets being elders. And
I think a 34-year-old happened to get.
That was a 34. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, McKenna. What up? And a good guy with a gun. This guy retired from the police department. He had a burner.
He had training.
He actually hit dude. Dude had on body armor.
Yep.
And then turned around and killed him.
Yes, Chris. That's actually... Let me be clear. Let me be clear for the, I've been going back and forth with Ugma, partially joking, bringing as much levity as you can to a situation like this. But let me be clear for those that may misunderstand what we're saying. And I know, Chrissy, I know you get it. When we say stop blaming mental health, we're not saying that mental health doesn't play a part.
Right.
Yeah, we're not saying mental health doesn't play a part. It absolutely potentially plays a part, because I can't say every time, but yes, it's absolutely.
It's also dangerous the way they talk about that, because there are plenty of people with mental health problems that don't do shit.
Yo, I made a post, kind of about. It wasn't really about it, but it was kind of that was on my. I didn't make the post. I shared the post. Let me see. It's effectively, addiction is not a choice. Trauma responses are not choices. Depression is not a choice. Disordered eating is not a choice. Recovery is a choice.
Right.
In some ways, a really difficult one that we have to keep reaffirming every day. So
right. And that's all I'm saying. Like, yo, it's time to re-examine the culture. It's time for us.
I'll be right back.
Okay. It's been past time for us to re-examine the culture. And let's take them red, white, and blue goggles off for a minute, because I'm telling y'all now, like, you're being manipulated. All of us are. We're being manipulated. And I heard somebody say the other day, they're so tired of hearing people use the word narrative. I don't know what other words you would use, right? Because that's what it is. This place runs off narratives. All places run off narratives. And the more successful narratives are the ones that can be promoted the most consistent. And the way you promote narratives consistently is advertisement, marketing, money. And you got to be real careful about the things that is promoted, that you see an engine behind being promoted. You got to re-examine that shit. And we are so caught up. It's bad enough we didn't turn the Constitution into a religious document. We didn't turn the founding fathers into religious holy men, divinities. They can't ever be contradicted. The Constitution must stay exactly the way it is. You have turned the Constitution into a Bible, a Quran, a Upanishads. This is what's happened, and because of that, people can't think outside of those and go, these motherfuckers weren't perfect. They could have made a mistake, or maybe times could have changed, and it forces us to alter our perspective to fit the times. Now, to me, that's eminently logical. That's rational. But when you put the emotional appeal of, but the eagle and the apple pie and the flag, my country, 'tis of thee. When you put that emotional fervor behind that shit, it makes it hard to have these conversations. When you attach these issues to your emotional attachment to the symbolism and jingoism, it makes it hard to talk about these issues. For the record, again, for those who may came in here late, I was a gun dude. I worked in the industry. I used to build M14s and T48s and AR-15s. I was in the industry, and I'm telling you now, it is shady shit going on in that industry at all times. So when these narratives are birthed from this shady place, it's not about your interest, it's about their self-interest.
Yeah.
And until we can put aside, I absolutely love comic books. But if there was some shit about comic books that was, you couldn't deny that there's an issue there, we need to have the conversation and stop being so scared and stop pointing the fingers at the next person. You just want to ban all guns. That's not what. No, to be clear, there are people that think exactly that.
Absolutely.
But they are on the margins. They're on the margins. And when you have between 85 to 90% of the population saying they have no problem with a database, a universal gun gun check or whatever, they check backgrounds and shit, and then the politicians who represent a small,
won't even talk about it.
There is a small percentage of ammosexuals in this country.
Yeah,
a small percent. People that are so extreme about it. That's a small percentage, and they get what they want. And the vast majority of people, there's dysfunction there. There's dysfunction there.
Heavy.
And until we are ready to see this country as dysfunctional, we can't fix it. It can't be fixed. And I've made the argument, and so has SBJ for years, it won't be fixed.
Nah.
It's got its grips on you too hard. You can't see listen, if you get misty-eyed when you think of Abraham Lincoln, you can't be helped.
Yeah, you can't be helped. There's nothing anybody can do for you.
We can't have a conversation. Because you are emotionally attached to all of the symbolism, and you don't want to have a discussion about why other countries don't have this shit.
Right.
And can we talk something about freedom for a second? We get this shit, tossed around at us all the time. And it's the vagaries that kill you. It's the vagaries that kill you. Freedom. The moment somebody says to you, they trying to take your freedom away, you instantly see that as this is horrible. This is the worst thing ever. Because they're not putting no details or specifics behind which freedoms they're talking about.
Well, no, here's the thing. I don't know if anybody mentioned it while I was gone, but the Second Amendment was written at a time where it took 2 minutes to reload a weapon. Let's keep that in mind. Let's keep that in mind.
That is a fact, yo.
I'm just saying, forethought is not the same as clairvoyance.
Yeah.
Like you may have had, they may have had some potential idea of some meager advances in their head when they thought of this stuff, but there's no way that they could have imagined that we would go through the boom of technology.
They couldn't have imagined
that we went through. No, it's no way. Yeah.
I want to talk about, since we're there, the Second Amendment for a second. So the wording of it is a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I don't know how y'all skipped the regulated part.
Right.
Seriously. How do you skip the regulated part?
It's a simple game of telephone. It was written, and then it was verbally taught. And then from the time it was verbally taught, it was verbally espoused.
Yeah.
In regular conversation.
Yeah.
And every time it is said without the original being put back into it, it changes.
Yeah, facts.
Slightly, ever so slightly, every single time until it reaches its absolute point. And its absolute point is we have the right to bear arms.
And that's where it stays. It stays that's right there. That's where it stays. But there's the part about being regulated. Yeah. And that's part's important, but the word before regulated, well regulated.
Right.
I'm not a constitutional scholar. I'm looking at the damn text. I don't see how those of you who I know went to school for this sort of shit, who I know are lawyers and all of that shit, but because of your political leanings, you are skipping over that part and you're going to the end part, the right to bear arms. And listen, like I said, I understand. I get it. Red-blooded American. I know they taught us a lot of shit here. They really did. They taught us without teaching us in many cases. It's ambient. It's in the air. These thoughts, these things are in the air. I get it. I know what it's like to sit there and watch Tombstone, the Western movie. I like that too. I do. It's dope. Like I'm there with you. Young Guns. Hard. Lethal Weapon. That scene in the first Lethal Weapon. No, scratch that. Even take bum ass Steven Seagal. And that first movie he did, Above the Law, that scene where he goes into the room and he has you know why we start liking, me and my homeboy Dennis start liking 9mm? Because of Steven Seagal. That scene where he goes in the room and he just airs it out. He's shooting forever. I get it. I get the appeal to it. I do. I was raised here too. I'm telling you, set that shit to the side.
Yo, the Matrix.
Had that conversation. The Matrix. We need guns.
And
lots of guns.
And then,
I get it.
And then the very scene after that, there was a board. There was a level in Perfect Dark. In the Perfect Dark video game, there was that same board, and there was that gun, the CMP 150.
Listen,
I will never rapid fire. And I've never participated in a mass shooting.
You were raised here, bro.
I was raised out there.
Raised here. Yeah. That's the other thing. I saw somebody make the attempt to blame video games, bro.
Yeah, Perfect Dark.
People play video games all over the world.
Yeah,
I don't have this.
Nah, B.
It's cap, yo. This shit is cap. Perfect Dark was a perfect example of that shit.
Oh my god, the laptop gun. Yeah.
Oh my.
Set it up. Toss it.
What?
It's there.
Yo.
You gonna walk by? Poof.
Yo, 007 Golden Eye.
Yeah. The golden gun. One shot.
I'm there. Listen. I spit gun bars just for play. That's why you don't hear it on my none of my music. Because it's easy. That shit's in the air. It's around. You can just, you know how to you know what I'm saying? Like, I get the visceral, testosterone driven. I get it. I'm telling you to set that to the side. I'm telling you to switch that off. Oh my goodness. Did he say the RC? What? I get it.
Yo, it's been a lot. Between movies and video games and music. Been indoctrinated. But again, I've thus far managed to avoid being involved in a mass shooting.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. That's all. And what we're saying is, since these other countries aren't having it, by the way, Australia had that. And then they put a law in place. And guess what? They don't have it no more.
Over. Never again.
Done. And some of the shit is so obvious. And the problem is, this is what happens when you put a battery in, you take a bad idea, You put it in the minds of people who are less educated than you about the subject. Then you put a battery in their back, kick them in the ass, and send them out there in the world. Kick them in the ass, send them out there in the world. And now they, I have the right to bear arms. We cannot discuss this any further than the fact that I have the right. See, my arms are bare. I have the right to bear. Yo, I hear you. But you don't have to be the Borg.
Right.
Like resistance is not futile. You can literally resist that idea and say, I'm gonna put this to the it's to me, it's the equivalent of
do I still have a copy of Perfect Dark?
You probably do somewhere around that motherfucker.
The black cartridge.
You probably do, yo. Listen, I get it. I get it. We there with you. We were conditioned the same way you guys were conditioned. Put that shit aside. It's the same way as I can entertain an idea without accepting it as my reality. I can have a discussion about it. We can go back and forth. I can entertain it. Like, I tell people all the time, I love the multiverse idea. But I know it's not nail in the coffin yet. So as much as I love it, I have to be as critical and scrutinize it so that I don't fall into the trap of going, that's a fact. These just facts. I'm just asking, I think the show, and we ask this about a lot of shit. I'm just asking for y'all to be able to entertain an idea without you just saying that this is, because it's not necessarily that. You have all your work ahead of you to make that shit to be a fact. You know what I'm saying? That's all. That's all. And I'm saying, and when you look at the world today and you look at these other countries, stop saying that some of these other countries don't have the same freedom as the United States and that makes them bad. Because I believe there's certain things you shouldn't be free to do.
That's a fact.
There's certain, and if you front like you don't think that, like I shouldn't be free to come inside your house without your permission.
Right.
I shouldn't be free to do that shit.
Yeah.
So I can't use the fact that you're restricting my freedoms because I should be able to come in your house anytime I want and say that you're less free. That's the play on words, the play on concepts. That's what I see here. France is free. Stop it. Right. The UK is free. Stop it. Australia is free. Stop it. Yeah. Panama is free. Stop it. Belize is free. Stop it. Stop that bullshit, because you took these definitions of these words and you twisted them to match your American Western experience. If it's not exactly like this over here, then that means they not free. Stop that shit, man. Stop it. Because there's a bunch of expats that leave every year.
Bruh.
And say they're not coming back.
It's so ironic that the biggest modern colonizer is the place that wants to cry about freedom.
No, isn't it? Isn't it?
Puerto Rico's not free. Hawaii's not free. That's another conversation, though. I guess we can't possibly relate the two.
But the way they have bastardized the concept of freedom to fit that bullshit is crazy to me, yo. All people are asking for is, should people that have proven to be irresponsible, have proven to have some sort of a diagnosis of mental health or whatever, has proven to be criminal, and they're constantly on some trying to take somebody's shit, should they have the freedom to own and have access to guns?
No.
If you're telling me that that's your definition of freedom, where they should have the right to be able to do that, have that shit too, I got to tell you, your ideas of freedom are warped. They're distorted. And they don't help the society with which you live. And this is the other thing. I don't know who did this to you motherfuckers. Who raised you? Who raised you? You are your neighbor's keeper. Stop it. Yeah. Stop it. We live in
how societies work.
That's how societies work, B. So yes, it concerns me if my neighbor next door is having a certain type of issue, because I know it can affect me.
Right.
We live in the same block. This hyper individualism, because you're so scared of communism, they did that to you too. They did it because
your palm.
Yo, he's ass, yo. He's ass.
What up, Joe?
He's ass. Like that. Yo, stop acting like this hyper individualism is what actual individualism is. Because
it's
there's
exceptional individualism.
Yo, facts. It's extreme individualism where you think that what happens to your neighbor doesn't affect you. Are you crazy? And if that's how y'all want to live, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna have a society that's gonna last long. And y'all need to look at shit because look how long the Roman Empire lasted. Just look. Go look at the record. Look at the historic record. Look how long they lasted before they started to collapse upon themselves. The United States ain't nowhere near that yet. And it's looking like a collapse is coming. It's looking like a collapse is coming. So all I'm basically saying, one of my observations of this week with that is y'all have got to free yourselves of that jingoism and that emotional connection to the symbols they gave you when you were a kid in school and they made you get up and put your hand on your heart and do it. Yo, free yourself of that because you're not going to be able to think critically about these issues until you do, because that's always going to be the filter. And you're always going to say, we can't do that because in the Constitution, the Constitution is divinely written or something. Is that what you saying to me?
Yo, like I can't remember if it was McKenna or Big Mike. Like one of them alluded to, it was written in such a way that it could be changed.
Right.
That's what the amendments are.
Right.
But what do I know? I don't know nothing about none of this shit.
This is the reality with which we live, right? And it's one of the reasons why when you have the way I grew up, I was taught certain things. I accepted certain things as being true. When I got to a certain age, I started seeing flaws in the things my parents told me, in the things my aunts, uncles, older people told. I saw flaws, holes in it. Don't make them bad. They're not bad people.
Right.
They're just people. And people get things wrong. Or people have a set reality that was true for their time. But now time has gone on and they kind of still stuck in that framework and they can't see the times have changed, or they see it, but they have no idea on how to adjust to that shit.
Right.
So you can't, so we got to stop that shit, man. Cause I'm telling you, right, listen, keep it 100 with you. Y'all got to stop that shit.
Hey.
Because after a while, I'm gonna be out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out. So now whatever is left here when I leave, I'm gonna be like my man Big Will, not Will Smith, never Big Will. Be like my man Big Will, and I'm gonna look back from there going, God damn, y'all over there fucking up because we don't have that here. I'm gonna be like Ken. Ken moved to Colombia. They don't have that shit down there for all the imagined flaws and faults that has been developed here over in this country about other countries like Colombia, like Panama. Because a lot of people see Panama the way Panama used to be.
Right.
That's not how Panama is now. Y'all still seeing that old shit, right? Y'all thinking about that old shit because you in a bubble.
Yeah.
You in a bubble here in the United States. You in a bubble. And I'm telling you now, a lot of these countries, the average person goes about their daily life and don't have to deal with that shit. Is there crime? Absolutely. Because there's people.
Yeah.
But the level of some of the shit that we deal with over here, because of our cultural attachment to certain ideas, is different. And when I'm seeing people, mind you, I made no secret of the fact I've never felt at home over here. When I got old enough to understand it, and I would go downtown Baltimore and I see these statues, these white men on horses, and then find out who they are and what they thought about me. Damn, why y'all got a statue of this motherfucker up here? He hated me, couldn't stand my ass.
Right.
Oh, y'all good with that? Oh, you prioritize something else, not me. Not how he saw me. I stopped feeling at home right around that time.
I was lucky or unlucky. It happened for me when I went to Kenya.
That's what it is. Bitch.
When I came back, it was like, okay, I do miss my family, but
I don't miss this.
Yeah, like I don't.
And this is my point, man. To me, it seemed like you're gonna have people that are so accustomed to things over here that they wouldn't be able to make the adjustment over there, and that's fine. That's fine. And a lot of times, what happens is those sort of people, they get to go overseas. They see things over there they can't adjust to. And then they come over here and tell everybody else, oh, boy, you lucky to be here. Nigga, that's you.
Right.
You can make the adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Don't speak for me.
Yeah.
Don't speak for the millions of people that do leave every year. Every year.
Thanks.
With no designs on coming back, right? There's some that come back.
Yeah, sure.
But there's a lot of them that stand. Go, man, I'm not. And in these last 3 years, I've got to talk to these folks. A lot of them. And I'm telling you now, there are people that are perfectly happy where they are. They left. They open. I'm not bringing my. Of all races, colors, creeds, religions, leave. Go someplace else and go, yo, I just like this shit here better.
Yeah. The fact is, this ain't it.
Right.
And unless you're a certain type of person, this will never be it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. So what I'm saying is leading out of that, but that's the impetus of it, the beginning point, the origin of it, of this next point I'm about to make. You black leaders, unappointed, by the way, appointed yourself as black leaders. You guys, I feel it's irresponsible of you to not at least offer being an expat as an option and service that segment of your community as well. There's a segment of your community that wants to leave and they can't find as much information about it as they could. And all y'all keep pushing in their face is that, yo, I know it seemed like a carrot on a stick, but if we just keep going, if we this time Lucy not gonna pull the football, I promise you, y'all not servicing the entire community. Like, yes, tell people about voting and how it's supposed to affect their neighborhoods.
Sure.
And the politicians, do all that, but also have some services up there for people that's like,
yeah, this ain't for me.
This ain't for me. This ain't for me. That's been a pet peeve of mine this whole week.
Yeah.
They won't even talk about it. They won't even have that conversation. No. Nigga, making this place better is your agenda.
Right.
That's your agenda. That might not necessarily be mine. Sure, while I'm here, because look, all the places I've ever lived at, I'm going to sweep the floor. Yeah. I don't own the house, but I'm going to sweep the floor because I'm here. I live here currently. What's up, DJ? I live here currently. So I want to make sure the floor is clean. I want to make sure the bathroom's clean. But I don't own this house. I don't own it. So it's only so much of an investment I'm going to put in it. All right? There's only so much of an investment I'm going to put in this shit. And I feel like a lot of black leaders who appoint themselves as black leaders, who maybe a segment of the population do see as leadership, feel like they neglect the black expat, the potential black expat. Y'all neglect them. Yeah. If anything, y'all shit talking. Why would you want to leave? They just killed 21 kids in the school last week.
Yeah, no, this ain't this is our home. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's only my home because I live here.
Because we live it. Nigga.
Yo, I want to find that post that I posted up on Facebook. All right, yeah. No, that's not it. I thought that was it for a second. But it was something to the effect of this is on. Oh, there we go. Every home I've ever had, I eventually moved away from. Staying someplace you either outgrew or find to be shitty, unhealthy, and hostile simply because it's home doesn't compute to me. Unless you can't do any better and have to stay until you can. Other than that, nostalgia be damned. Yep. Any place can be home until it's not. Neighborhoods, cities, and yes, motherfuckers, you brainwashed, jingle-minded motherfuckers, you smooth-brained bastards. Yes, countries. countries are only homes till it's not.
Yeah. Just fast.
That's all. It's a whole world out here, B. There's a world out here other than the East Coast and West Coast of the United States. Like, stop it. It's a whole world out here.
Thanks.
But anyway, that was my week and my observations.
All right. So one of my coworkers is a huge asshole.
My bad. Yo, that's hilarious.
My bad. I didn't mean to pop you like that.
Yo,
no, bro. It's what it is.
Can't say only one.
Bruh, no. See, he's a special type of asshole. Mm-hmm. So now, if somebody verbally pisses you off, and they are simultaneously wrong about what they're saying,
right?
Condescend to them by all means. Fuck being not. No, condescend to them. Yeah, condescend to them. Absolutely.
Do it.
Now, I stand by that because they were being a dick and being wrong.
Right.
The combination of the two. Let them have it. But I implore all of you, please don't be that original dick.
Yeah.
I have a coworker who is extremely condescending, but about stuff that he knows nothing about.
Yo. You know what that reminds me of? When I first started working at Phillips, there was a guy that worked there. He used to always have this expression on his face. My man Bucky said, yo, why he got all that? Why he always have this expression that reads like motherfuckers are stupid, but he looks stupid. Like everybody, you got the expression like, but you really don't know what's going on.
Yo.
You really don't know what's going on.
Yo, it's the absolute worst. Like most of it is always inconsequential because he doesn't have any power over me. Yeah. But he may be like, and the worst thing about it is he's generally a good dude.
Yeah.
Like he's generally a decent person. Mm-hmm. It's just when he gets in these modes, he may be the most annoying person, bruh. He may be the most annoying person that I deal with at any of the places I go at work.
That caveat, because I still maintain that I am the most annoying.
No, I'm not. No, listen. I can't say there are definitely people more annoying, but I can't say in fear that they may hear me, and then I have to try to explain what I mean. Yeah, I'm not. Listen,
I'm just saying I am not a malicious troll.
There are those who are far more annoying than you, my good sir. But so I got stuck in a 20-30 minute conversation with him. Mm-hmm. Here's a reimagining. So he at this particular location. Mm-hmm. He has a desk. He's a manager. He has a desk.
Mind your business, Nabom.
He has a desk on the main floor of the office, but he has his own office upstairs as well. Mm-hmm. So he's usually in his office. That's where his computer is. That's where, all that stuff. So when I come over there, I usually sit at his desk downstairs.
Right.
As long as I'm not on somebody's computer. So I'm sitting at his desk. He comes downstairs. I speak. He speaks. There was an issue with something. I went ahead and took care of that for him. And now I'm sitting here. And he's like, hey, James, let's talk about something. I'm like, okay. All right.
Yo, that right there, that intro right there would have been enough for me to be like, oh, nah, yo.
Yeah. I already felt,
The douchery was coming, B.
Oh, it was the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was the whole thing. And he's like, all right, so your phone, right? Your phone, it has a Wi-Fi hotspot that you can enable. And if you connect it to a thing, you can look at the internet using this Wi-Fi. I'm like, yes, I'm well aware of Wi-Fi hotspots. Mind you, I'm the IT guy.
You're not. Excuse me, folks. Just for your edification, SPJ is the IT guy.
I've been my entire life. I've been ever involved with technology.
Hey,
it's not to say that
you might not know this, but this is a keyboard. Yo, fuck out of here.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm aware that's exactly how that works. Yes,
he's the it guy.
So he's like, all right. So why can't we have use the phone, use the phone, and turn the the hotspot on, and have a device at the jobs that we can connect it to, and then we can do work. Because the agents are using their personal phones, and it's not okay. And I'm like, could you please shut? I didn't say this.
This is the reimagining.
Could you please shut up and tell me the problem?
Yeah.
You are not in IT. You do not understand most of the shit.
No, you don't.
Do not come to me with a solution.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're talking about.
Just tell me what you think the problem is.
Tell me what the problem is.
What the fix is.
Right. So here's two things that are simultaneously happening for our security. And I can tell you what the test was now. So the test was that I referenced it last week. Basically, it was an email situation. We're trying to get our employees to have better email etiquette.
Okay.
So they aren't just like willy-nilly opening shit and clicking on shit that they don't got no business opening.
Yeah, it's none of your business, right.
No, not even none of your business. Shit that can get people in trouble. Shit that can like give us viruses and
yeah.
All that shit.
Hold up, B. I need to stop because I was about to say something crazy. Because yes, there indeed are still people who can't tell when
No, you will not. Oh, I'm about to go over these 98 email. We're working with this company that they specialize in this. Particularly phishing. Not even, Poem. Not even. They specialize in phishing. So what they did is they set up this campaign.
Dumbass nigga.
Right. They set up this campaign, and the campaign was 98 of the email addresses that we have would be sent random emails, all of them different, all of them with different wording in the email, all of them from different people, all that good stuff. Out of the 98, 13 accounts opened the email. Out of that 13 people, 3 people clicked the goddamn link that's in the email. Now,
why?
Now, here's the thing. Out of those 13 people, out of the 98 people who were sent an email, my department heard from 10. Out of this 10, only two out of the 10 that we heard from out of the 98, 2 out of this 10 had actually opened it. So the other 8 out of the 10 were people that didn't actually open it. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. Right. They saw something fishy. They said, "Hey, this thing." That's what was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So 2 of them. One of them printed it out and saved it.
Wow.
For the next day to tell me.
Wow.
Hey, I saw this. This looks fishy. Why did you open it? Well, how else am I supposed to know if it's fishy if I don't open it? No, that's not how this works.
That is not.
That's not how any of this works. So anyway, mind you, among these 13 that opened it, you got vice presidents, you got managers. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's a completely separate thing. But I just realized that I can tell you.
But that's over. That I think that's an important thing too, because that shows you just how far up the scale of people who should know better but don't.
Yes, absolutely. But anyway, so the two issues that are existing currently out in the field. One is the Gmail thing. We cannot send to Gmail email accounts, which is absolutely a huge deal. I get that. I understand anybody that comes to me with their hair on fire about this, because it is really a big deal. It's really a big deal. Fine. Right. The other thing that's not an issue, it's a feature, is that we don't allow them to just go to any website they want to.
Yeah.
We have a firewall.
You should. That makes sense.
Stops them from just going anywhere.
Yo, every place I ever worked at where I had access to the computer, that's it.
That's how it should be. Yeah, because you, first of all, y'all show us daily that you can't be trusted.
Facts.
This test that I just talked about is an example of this. Facts. Not that you're being malicious,
no,
but that you clearly just don't know what you're doing.
That's what it is, B.
So why would I give you free reign? It doesn't make sense.
Because SBJ, I'll tell you why. They're freedoms. You are infringing on their freedoms. And listen, I got to tell y'all, being dumb ain't free. That shit is expensive.
It's costly. It's extremely costly.
Yeah.
So these are the two issues that he's attempting to fix with this Wi-Fi thing. But the issue is, at this particular location that he's talking about, the signal gets bad. The cell phone signal gets bad. So I said to him, hey, if they don't have a signal, then they won't be able to use their Wi-Fi hotspot.
Hey, Cindy. What's up, Cindy?
What up, Cindy? They won't be able to use their Wi-Fi hotspot because they don't have. You just told me, that this isn't working.
Yeah.
So how would they use this?
Don't.
Okay. How about this?
No, don't do this. Why is he doing that?
How about okay?
You're
we're just talking. How about a modem? A modem. So I'll say, okay. So you want an extra modem? You want a separate line? Yeah. How about that? And okay, all right. Well, if you had that, you would need a device to be able to use the internet on. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, why can't we do that? Okay. All right. He's like, yeah, it has to be separate from all this stuff. Oh, okay. So, question. If it's separate from all of this stuff, and we've now put the money up to get everybody a new modem with a new line for internet and a new computer to be able to use that internet,
right?
How, if it's not connected to anything else, and you're supposed to be using this for business, like for instance, somebody's pay stub, how are you supposed to get the pay stub? If it's not connected to anything else,
it's not connected to anything else.
Not connected to anything else. How are you supposed to get the pay stub?
Why is he doing this, yo? Why is he doing this?
I'll tell you how. Either you would have to email it, which would be connecting it to everything else, or you would have to connect it to the printer, which it's in the name. I already said it.
Yeah.
So what you would require is an individual printer as well. Well, yeah. So why can't we do that, sir?
He's spending a lot of money.
Sir, there is no way that they are going to buy a new modem with a new line, a new computer, and a new printer for every location?
It's not happening.
Well, why not? There's a budget. Yeah, but this is a multi-million-dollar company. It has nothing to do with the budget.
I hate when people say that shit, yo. I swear I hate when people say that shit, yo.
What are you talking about? You're not.
I hate.
You're not this dumb. That's my biggest issue. No.
Point of order, sir.
No. He may not be technologically inclined.
I mean,
stupid he is not.
But he's showing you right now. I mean, I get what he was before, right? I get what he was before. I get what your perception of him before was. But after this conversation, he does have to go down a little bit. I ain't saying you knock all of it down. I'm saying a couple of notches, he got to go down. Yo,
so he's like, okay, well, don't do it for everywhere. Just do it for this one place. Sir, I can tell you now that's not going to happen.
Yo,
there is no way that they're going to make this exception for this one place. Yo. Well. What can we do? We can't do our work. So now you're telling me the problem.
This is what should have happened.
That's how it should have started.
That's how that conversation should have started.
Now you've wasted 10 to 15 minutes of my time because you want to go through hypothetical solutions for a problem that you never fully explained.
This isn't your field.
It's not your field.
All you had to do was go to the guy.
It's not your monkey, not your circus.
Yo, can you imagine, if you go to a doctor and he says, you have something wrong with your kidneys.
No. If you go to a doctor and you tell him, hey, doc, I need albuterol. Why do you think we're just going to give you albuterol?
What makes you think you're going to get that?
Well, albuterol, it comes in a mist form.
Yeah.
And it goes inside of an inhaler and you do that and you feel better.
Right.
Yeah, but we just don't give that to people.
Yeah, you haven't even told me.
Well, I have really bad asthma. Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Okay, so we can't do our job. Okay. Shut up, Paul. So he arrives at we can't do our job. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. What about your job can't you do?
Right.
Well, we can't email Gmail. Okay, but nothing that you said is going to solve that.
Nope. Not a damn thing that you suggested.
So move on. What's the next? That's and I explained to him how it happened, why it happened, and where we are as far as solving it. But it's likely that it will never be solved, and we'll have to do some. We have to do something that's drastic in order to get it. Yeah. So I explained to him all that. So none of what you said is going to help that at all. So move on. What's the other issue? Oh, well, when they go to try to verify a person's landlord or employment, they have to use their personal phones because the internet's locked down. Okay, so there's a protocol in place. Because we put this system out there, we know how you don't have to tell us how it works. We know how it works.
Right.
We know that it will lock down every website by default.
That's done purposely.
Right. That's the point.
That's part of the that's part.
And because we know that, we implemented a protocol that we've told you. What do you mean? If there's a site that you can't get to that you need for work, you are supposed to tell me, and I will enable that site. So they're just supposed to call you every time. Yes. Because what happens is it won't be every time. Amazon, for instance, has a big presence here. A lot of people work for Amazon. If you need to get to Amazon to look up the phone number for Amazon, and you call me, guess what? I enable it and you never have to call me for Amazon again.
Yeah.
Because it's enabled.
Yeah.
So the next time you run into one, you call me. Mind you, this was me not thinking clearly. This was me after he had just frustrated the fuck out
of you. Yeah.
So
no doubt.
So he's like, all right, well, how about this? Can you take it upon yourself? I can't remember if he said his exact words, but can you take it upon yourself that when you go to locations, make sure you ask every person in the place individually 3 times if there's anything wrong with them?
Yo,
I said, that's not going to happen. His response, see, everything for you guys is a no. It's a no. I said, hold up, stop. It's a no to you because you're only thinking about your employees. You're trying to protect your employees. Now, understand that. I commend that. Very commendable. However, understand what I'm saying.
Don't hear what I'm not saying.
It is no more. It should be no more my responsibility to make sure that you guys are okay.
Facts.
Then it should be your responsibility to tell me when you're not okay.
Facts.
That should be a balance. It should not be more balanced on my end. I got to make sure no.
Can you imagine though, how many on average on a day? How many of these different places do you go at?
We have 13 properties.
Mm-hmm.
We have 13 properties, but every property has at least one maintenance shed. And then there are some maintenance sheds that aren't connected to a property. So throughout the week, throughout the 2 days that I do both sides, 26 places or so.
Right. They're talking about 3D in a nigga.
So yeah, I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I can tell you that 100%. It is not going to. I'm not going to put it upon myself.
Why would you?
Mind you, I'm here. My sheer presence.
This nigga.
No, real shit. I said it that way on purpose, but real
shit. You did.
The fact that I'm here should remind you if you have any issues, because that's my job.
You should.
That's what I'm here for.
That's what that should be their frame of reference for you.
Absolutely.
Here. So if you having some sort of computer issue or whatever, you know I'm here. So as soon as you see me, even if you got, IT dude, IT dude,
bruh. If I go to a place and there's a new person working there, what people will say is, hey, such and such, this is James, either the IT guy or he works on our computers.
Right.
So that means clearly the reference has been established.
Yeah.
You have it. I told him, here's the other thing. It's not as if I don't ever ask people if everything's fine.
Right.
But there will be times where I'll go to a location, ask if everything's fine, be there for 15 to 20 minutes, leave, and then an hour later get a phone call from them. Oh, James, I forgot. Which that isn't a problem. I'm not mad at that because people forget. Niggas forget all the time. I forget. So yeah, I'm not mad at that, but I'm saying your solution isn't a solution. It's not the fact that you feel like you can come up with something novel enough that I couldn't have possibly considered it. Right.
Kruger.
Right. That I couldn't have possibly considered to try it out.
Like all you have to do is just say the problem. Like, that's really my job. Tell me what the issue is. It's my job. You don't see, that's the thing. You putting too much burden on yourself.
Yeah.
For some shit that you're not even really qualified.
You know what? That might be a good idea.
IT problem board at every location.
It might be a good idea.
As soon as you come in, you check the board. Like, what y'all got? Right. Yo, I can see. But see,
here's the other thing.
That could cause issues too, though.
Every location every single location has one or two of the three: my extension to my downtown seat, my personal cell phone number, my email address. So he says to me, well, yeah, but what, they forget sometimes. Okay, that's excusable. That's I'm not, this isn't iron fist. I'm not fussing at them for forgetting. But here's the thing. Let's use your example. They're dealing with an applicant. They're trying to figure out the phone number to their job. They're on. That means that they're on the computer.
Yeah.
And when they realize they can't do something, you know what else is on the computer? Email. Just open up the email and send me a quick email. Hey, James, I tried to get to this site, wouldn't work. Can you help?
Send help.
That's simple.
Send help.
Very simple. And if I'm at my desk downtown, I'll get that email.
Right.
Depending on what the site is.
Right.
Because some sites I just know.
Right.
Some sites I'm like, hey, can we give them this?
Right.
But either way, it'll get taken care of. It'll be addressed.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's the point, right?
That's it. That's what's supposed to be the point, right?
It's crazy.
Crazy. So we reached the end of this conversation by me basically calling him a crazy person. Effectively, now I didn't say those words, but effectively, I let him know that he was being
nuts.
Yeah,
it's crazy to me because it reminds me of the times where, like, say when I was working at the Phillips warehouse, in order for you to be able to clean the machinery, there is a certain procedure you have to go through, and you have to be trained to do that. You have to be trained how to take what bolts out, what nuts out, which part that the crab or whatever the product's coming through there gets stuck up in the most. You need an experienced person to train you how to do this. And typically what happens is the maintenance people, that department is part of the process. You go through that as well as the sanitation department. When I see somebody on the production staff who, one, has not had the training, two, did not pass the ServSafe exam or course, attempting to then go in with some little thing to unscrew something, I would always stop them and cuss them the fuck out, because you're about to break this. You're about to break it, or you're about to overlook something when you try to put it back, and it's going to get fucked up. And then when it gets fucked up, it makes it harder for my crew to have to come in and clean this shit. My crew of highly trained sanitation workers, that manufacturing sanitation workers, because it's different. It's a different. They know how to do this shit. They've been trained. You haven't. Rather than you come over here with that bullshit, just call for one of my guys to come over here, or maintenance guy. Don't you try to, because you about to.
It's our job.
It's our job. You about to.
It's what we're here for.
Job. Right.
And that's what I told him. That's what I told him. I said, it's not always that they forget. Like, I get it, but it's not always that they forget.
Right.
Sometimes it's easier for me to just use my phone real quick.
Yeah. That's
exactly sometimes, because I know a couple of people who personally this is the case. Sometimes is, I don't want to bother James. No, bother me. It's what I'm here for.
This is what I'm here to do.
It's my job.
I
am insurance.
I would hate to hear that, yo. Because number one, don't go to any managers who are now cussing you out for what you did, and tell them, I didn't want to bother Landon and his crew.
Right.
Don't do no shit like that.
Nah.
Facts, hey, bro. Facts.
All facts.
So out of here.
So like I said, the conversation with him ends, and I'm going to the place that he's talking about next.
Right.
And my homegirl is the manager of that place. So kind of like on the west side, all the properties, he like oversees all of the west side as far as the rental side goes. And then he has two managers that directly under him. Mm-hmm. So yeah, my homegirl, she's the manager at this particular location. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to have a conversation with her about this because he referenced her and he referenced another somebody I guess I can consider my homeboy. Mm-hmm. He's been in the company just as long as I have, if not a little bit longer, and we used to work together back when I was in the field. Right. He now.
Do you hang out with him outside of
No. I think he now runs. Right. That's why I was kind of. But yeah, he runs the maintenance side of the West Side now. So the first guy dropped both of their names in this diatribe that he was on. So I'm like, yeah, I know how you do. So even after we have this conversation, I'm gonna go talk to them.
Facts.
To see exactly what was initially had, because I know you added and made up some shit in conjunction.
You already know.
Upon talking to her, the whole Wi-Fi hotspot thing had never been discussed between the two of them. That was something he just, So he conflated two different things. But we're not gonna get into that because we got some other shit to get into. I just gotta get through this. So my other coworker, that runs the applications department, that I be going on vacations with and shit. Mm-hmm. She just be saying shit sometimes, and it get annoying as fuck. So she just be saying shit, and it's like, did you think about that before you said it? And then sometimes she gets mad at me when I give her the answer. Like, I'll give you a quick example. She's like, about the trip. It was something about I'm not going to be on the same flight as them. Her, Fab, and Marcus are all going to be in the same flight. Mm-hmm. So she like, oh wow, why didn't you get on the same flight? I said, seats ran out before I got a chance. She said, okay. Wait, then how did Marcus get on the flight? He booked it before the seats ran out. Am I bugging?
No.
Because that would be that's how that works, right?
You're not bugging.
Yeah, because okay, all right. But anyway, so again, she just be saying shit. So, like I said, one of the issues was that since we locked down the internet, they can't get the places to verify employment, stuff like that. But all they're looking for is I realized, what up, Vernon?
Yeah, Vernon.
I realized that all they're looking for is a phone number. And I'm like, hold on. Because I've calmed down now and had time to think about it.
Right.
So I'm talking to them too. I'm talking to that coworker and my homegirl that's the manager of this place. And I'm like, wait, y'all could just be using yellow pages and white pages. Now, because of how I said it, I completely understand their initial confusion.
Yeah.
They were appalled. On the one hand, like I said, I get it on one hand.
Right.
But on the other hand, these are people who know me personally. Right. You asked me if I hung out with dude outside of work.
Yeah.
I've hung out with both of them.
Right.
Several times outside of work.
Right.
Left the country with one of them. I eat breakfast every day at work with one of them. Ma'am, you know me.
Yeah.
I fuss at you because you want to print everything.
Right.
Because if it's not printed out, it isn't real. Because she's in that generation.
Right.
Why would you think that I would be suggesting for you to pull out this big ass book?
Right.
And skim through the page. Why would you think that that's what I was suggesting? So I say this to them. I say, no, I'm not talking about, no, not physically. The web pages, the websites. And the one that the manager's like, oh. So we move on. We talking about the rest of it. And then here come the other one that just be saying shit. That just seems so archaic to me. I said, It's no different than searching on Google. What's so archaic about it? She said, I don't know. I said, to be clear, I'm not talking about the book. Like, you know that, right? She said, yeah. I said, so how is it archaic? You literally open up your browser, type in yellowpages.com or yp.com for short, and there's a search bar, just like there is for Google. You type it in. What's archaic? I don't know.
Hold up. Here's a question that you probably didn't consider. Maybe she doesn't know what archaic means.
Damn it.
Maybe she thought it meant something else.
I guess. That's the only logical explanation I can do.
Because I can't see how she would say something that millions of people do it's
literally the same process.
Day. Yeah.
It's literally the same process as if you were doing a Google search. It just may be one more click.
Yeah.
Because you got to get to the Yellow Pages site.
And
Chrome open up Google automatically.
Yeah, I'm kind of halfway. It's almost headcanon that she don't know what archaic is.
But here's the thing. Again, I know her. There's no way she doesn't know what it means. But that is the only logical explanation.
Yeah, because I don't understand how that's like huh? And listen, there are words that even the most educated of us are not familiar with.
Sure.
So maybe this, maybe she thought it meant this is so tedious.
This is so
I don't know.
Existentialism.
this is so anti-disestablishment terrorist.
This is so rambunctious. What? Okay, shut up. Stop. You can't talk anymore. Right. You can't talk anymore for the rest of the day.
You lost your talking privileges for the day.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So moving on. Close to the meat. Dumbass of the week.
Oh,
which is how we arrived on what our topic. Well, which is how we started to arrive on what our topic for the day will be. So I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I run across my cousin, Just Chris.
Mind your business, Nabo.
Just Chris. He shares this post, and it's funny because we had just been talking about this because Kendrick's album came out, and we were talking about the big three, and that happened. And somewhere in that conversation, I had mentioned like Kendrick's after this album, Kendrick's number 4 for me. He's under Big Sean. So it's funny that a week later, Just Chris would run across this article saying people think that Big Sean belongs with Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole on hip hop's Mount Rushmore of the 2010s.
Discord.
What up? Good. So we're talking about this. And then somebody who I don't know chooses to opine. Now, when I went to his page, I realized that he knows both Just Chris and Aaron. So he's actually commented on a lot of posts that one of them has tagged me in, and we ended up having a conversation. He's been in a lot of those conversations, not in our conversation, but on that post.
Right,
I get it.
On some sub thread or whatever.
Yeah. I had never really paid attention to his takes before, though. This particular take,
his takes are ridiculous.
This particular take, he won Dumbass of the Week.
Damn.
And I don't even do it on a weekly basis anymore, but he absolutely won Dumbass of the Week. He says, and I'll explain why. He says, definitely in the convo, but you got more deserving people. Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Future, shit, even Chief Keef. So he went on to make more comments that solidified his spot. That solidified his spot as Dumbass of the Week. I'll just read the one. Which one was the dumbest? Okay. He says, I'm not going to lie. I look at it like who contributed the most to the game while having a great career. They don't update the real Rushmore, but all of them dudes up there really shaped the USA. So I say Wayne, Drake, K. Future, and Gucci. All right. So here's why this was dumb. Particularly this last comment before we move forward. The reason this last comment was dumb, they don't update the real Rushmore. Okay, so number one, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy still thinks that in order to be on Mount Rushmore, you had to be a president. Or if he thinks that it's the first 4 presidents. Or let me stop. It specifically says Rushmore of hip hop.
There's errors. They literally have
no update. It's not being updated. This is for this time period.
Right.
It's allotted time period. It's not an update type thing.
And honestly, this is the only way that the Rushmore conversation even makes sense in a living, breathing art form.
Yes.
This is the only way that it makes sense, which is another one of my pet peeves with that shit.
Absolutely. So he also made me realize something. I have a new declaration. If I don't know you, I am going to ask you who your top 5 is before I engage in any serious conversation about hip hop with you, because this shit is insane.
Yo, it's funny that you say that, because years ago I established on my old channel, which is now my artist channel, that before I engage in a conversation with anybody about science, I'm going to ask them what their definition of a theory is.
Word.
If you give me the colloquial definition of theory when we're talking about science, I don't want to have this conversation with you, because there's a gap in knowledge
clear
that I cannot repair. I can't repair. Like, this is basic shit where you need to go back and I'm not a teacher. You know what I'm saying? So I relate to exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm just not doing it. Like, unless you come well recommended.
Yeah. Thanks.
Then I might not ask you.
Your references gotta be.
I may not ask you your top 5.
Right.
But then if you go down that route, I'm going at whoever recommended you.
Yeah, facts. You lose credibility. So be careful who you recommend.
Yeah, be careful who you give your stamp of approval to.
Yeah, my issue.
It matters.
My issue with the whole thing is, I know, at least I have a feeling where a lot of this comes from. A lot of this comes from the sports world, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of niggas is into sports like that.
Facts.
Because I am no longer into sports like that, like I was, it seems meaningless to me because this is an art. That's why the only way this makes sense to me is if you go off of eras in time.
Well, here's the funny thing.
Only way it makes sense.
That I literally just thought about. So Gray made a post recently on Instagram about Mount Rushmore's. Let me see if I can find what I said on his post. I said the question he asked was, what he said was, Mount Rushmore lists are supposed to be harder to decide than top 5 lists. Can someone be in your top 5 but not on your Mount Rushmore? How does that work? My response was, I think Rushmore should be contributions, and top 5 is your favorites based on any criteria you choose.
Agreed.
So, what does it take to be on a Mount Rushmore? So, if you are an OG fan, then you remember the episodes that we used to do on GOAT metric. So I'm approaching this similarly to that. It's not a 1-to-1.
Right.
But the biggest thing that they have in common is that with the GOAT metric, we were not taking into account how we personally felt about the artist or producer or whatever, or actor or whatever it was.
Because trust me, it was motherfuckers on there that had high ratings that I ain't fuck with at all. But the numbers were the numbers.
The numbers were the numbers.
The numbers were the numbers.
So this is a little bit different. So what I have so far, I have Impact. Mm-hmm. So it's funny how you mentioned about the 80s, because I feel like the further back we go, the easier it is. Actually,
it is easy.
Easy it is to find their impact.
You don't have to factor in certain elements that didn't exist back then.
Right.
Like for me, I have a as much as I hate that whole discussion, I have who I think are the people that made the most contribution to 4.
Right.
That to me, Run DMC, Rakim, Napalm gonna hate this, LL Cool J, and KRS-One. KRS-One. You know what I'm saying? KRS-One for specific reasons, because me being somebody that was off the porch, like back then, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I remember the impact. I remember who was when what you heard coming out of cars that was riding down the street. I remember the impact of Run DMC. Like motherfuckers don't. If you wasn't there for it, you'll never get it.
It's different.
It's different. Run DMC was on some of. They did some shit for the first time that no rap acts had ever done. Period. Period.
Was a huge deal,
bro. Their legacy is one that I always felt like y'all can't play them, because all the shit that these dudes brag about now, you would not be able to do if they hadn't come kicking them doors in with them Adidas. You're like there's no way you dudes could get to the level that you are. Movies, there's no way you could have got without these guys. Rakim is the reason why they call him the God MC, is because there are so many motherfuckers, so many motherfuckers that owe their rap style to Rakim. There's too many, and his style was so different at the time that a lot of people were still doing call and response.
Right.
He wasn't. This is another reason why LL is up there, because regardless of what we think of him now, at that time, you could not find a rapper that was not signed, a solo rapper that was not signed, that wasn't trying to sound like L.
Right.
It's just the facts.
Hold up. Pause
real
quick. Pause because Paul just reminded me something. You know, every time we bring up that song he did with Timbaland, Headsprung, I clown him about the fact that he just gave himself a nickname.
Right.
They call me Big Ellie. No, the fuck they don't.
No, they don't.
Nobody does. I just
don't.
Realized the other day.
Yo, I'm laughing.
He tried to do it again.
Why am I just saying videos? We said Great Sometimes Lies on post. He put Enterprise theme tune as number 10. This is top 10. We all know he loves.
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
Yo, I just realized the other day that he did it again in that same song. I think it's the same verse. He says, Timbaland, Ladies Love on the track. Now you're calling yourself Ladies Love? Nobody calls you. Yeah, so they call you LL. Fine. But that's not, that was
supposed to be the acronym.
Right.
Or what that meant, but
we're not doing that. Nobody calls you Ladies Love.
No one calls you.
Nobody.
They either call you LL or just L.
Right.
And the just L hit different in 2022.
Well, yeah.
That's hit different. Absolute fact. You know what I'm saying? It hit
like, no, you making shit up. Stop.
Yeah.
We don't need. You're clearly like some rappers make up gun bars. Fine. Because there's no way for us to independently verify.
Now
we have receipts.
We don't tell Arnold Schwarzenegger that he's not a badass shooting everybody out, and that's a role. He's playing a role. So go ahead, do your shit.
Nobody calls you Big Ellie.
Nobody.
And nobody calls you Ladies Love.
Yo, your friends don't call you that.
Right.
Your significant other, Simone, she don't call you that. Your moms and them didn't call you that. You know what I'm saying? Your grandmother ain't call you that. Nobody in Crush Groove called you that. When they did the movie Crush Groove, you came up there, nobody called you that. Matter of fact,
be more convinced
Jam Master Jay was going to shoot you in that scene when you came in there and they told you that's the end of auditions and you come in there with no show. Man, drop the beat. Jay Master was like, what? So nobody calls you that.
I would be more convinced if you told me people called you Todd.
Facts. I know people called you Todd.
Because it's your actual name.
Because that's your name. James Todd Smith. You understand? Like, that's your name, B. Nobody
tell me they were calling you Jimmy. I believe that.
Right. Now,
Big Ellie.
Listen, there is a line, right, in between, in hip hop, between names people call you and the names you call yourself. You give yourself a moniker, right? Yeah. Your MC name, right? Your stage name.
Yeah.
But over the course of time, you might say something in a rap. You might shorthand your shit in the rap and it become popular and the fans start calling you that, right?
Right.
Or they might shorthand your shit themselves and start calling you that. Many times people calling me Toon.
Like Fab, Fabulous, Fab, Loso.
You feel me? So they'll shorten Toon, Dead Man.
Right.
They'll shorten that, right? Or they'll take, like, from a song I wrote, Big Daddy Reaper. I've seen, it's BDR. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've seen that. But nobody calls you.
They don't call you Big Timmy.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Shit, Mike might start now.
Yeah, no bullshit.
If he hears it.
No bullshit. Like, I've even seen the acronym TDD. I've seen the acronym. But he went out and said you like Cap. As soon as you say, hey, yo,
that's funny.
Yo,
that's funny.
Well, you know, one of Napalm's favorite ones that we love to call him is Banana Peeler.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? BP, my man BP.
I'm going to abstain from this war between you guys. I'm not involved.
Listen,
I'm not involved.
But nah, yo, you're right, yo.
Nobody call you that shit.
Nobody.
You gonna start the track off like that?
Right.
That's the first words we hear from you?
It's Cap. First words we hear from you was Cap, yo.
Nah, B. That ain't what happened. No. But anyway, I'm sorry. Continue.
But with him, I'm strictly going off of mostly impact, but skill has to be in there. KRS-One, because if you go through that era of hip hop where people were putting messages in their music, yes, you had other groups, like there was literally a song called The Message.
Yeah.
But KRS-One's message helped to herald in an entire generation of Afrocentric, pro-black, proud to be black.
Well, I mean,
rap.
You know, knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone.
Nearly everyone.
Yeah.
Nearly. Not me, but nearly, you know what I'm saying? Nearly everyone else. Yeah. Like his impact was so large in that particular thing. This is more than just record sales. This is because it was more than any of that stuff, right? It's the level of impact that he had on the culture. So in the 80s, I get to that. Plus, just hip hop in general, the idea of respecting the elements, the fundamentals. We talk to you motherfuckers about the fundamentals, right? Break dancing, graffiti art, DJing, rapping, like street fashions, street economy.
Yeah.
These are the things that a lot of motherfuckers, they have pushed to the side, and they took the music part of the hip hop culture and said, this is hip hop. And I always tell people, no, this is rap.
Right.
Hip hop is a culture. This is one of the elements in hip hop is rap. Yes, we shorthand with the really ain't even shorthand because you're making it longer. This is hip hop. You say hip hop music or rap, right? Like there's a culture there that is completely ignored now. KRS-One was one of the people that I felt like he definitely promoted the culture, a holistic approach to the culture. It was holistic. It was graffiti art is just as important. DJing is just as important. Breakdancing. What's up, Biddy? All of that is just as important.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, they called him a teacher for a reason. Yeah. CL, he had another nickname. People called him. Okay, never mind.
Say it again.
Just saying, they called him the teacher for a reason. It is what it is.
No, but he didn't have to make that up.
Nah.
Just saying.
Wasn't necessary.
Now the 90s are a little shakier.
All right, hold up. Wait. All right, we're going to go backwards for the rest of this. All right, so I mentioned Impact. Another thing that I wrote down was your production in your field. Mm-hmm. So you have to been some level of prolific. Like,
yes,
you didn't have to flood the market.
Right.
But you had to be active.
Yeah, you had to be active
during that point in time. Quality matters. Quality absolutely matters.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing that I didn't write down, but I feel in my spirit, which is one of the reasons why I felt that original post was stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
I feel like, because we're doing decades, I feel like your first album should have come out either a year or two before the decade started.
Agreed.
So no, Jay-Z and Lil Wayne would not be eligible for the 2010s because their first albums came out in the 90s. Like, no. What are we doing,
B? Like,
go away.
What are we
doing?
Go
away.
Yo, right, and the other thing that's crazy about it is, like, you notice how in the whole Rushmore part put in the 80s, there's a group there. See, hip hop, this is the other thing. I think a lot of times people, when they think about that topic, they only think about these solo groups, solo acts. Sure. And I'd be like, no, because for the longest time, there wasn't many solo acts. And, and during the developmental stage hip hop, it wasn't many solo acts. It was crews.
Right.
It was crews. And those crews are instrumental. You know what I'm saying? And all of them don't have to. Are we talking about the music overall holistically, or we talking about rapping? That's the other thing, because there are people who did not rap.
Well, but was part of the music. I feel like music. So, but that also excludes movies.
Yes.
I'm just talking about music.
Yes.
If you didn't rap, but you were still super,
right.
But that's going to mess. I think that's going. I haven't thought about any of these except for the 2010s.
Right.
Yet. I think that's going to come into play in the 2000s because there are quite a few people who rap and produce.
Yes.
That may kind of,
and also
I may lean towards some of them.
Yeah, like DJs too, because like if you go back beyond the 80s, if Kool Herc isn't on your Mount Rushmore, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I don't know what you're doing because he's literally the guy. He's literally one of the, like, I don't know what you're doing but most people that's alive now don't even remember.
Right.
Cool. They don't know nothing about it. They never knew who the fuck Kool Herc was. They never do it. And it's a couple of others back then, right? That was instrumental in developing the form. Like if there's a Omni Void with nothing in it.
Right.
They filled the void with the framework that everybody is using to this day, no matter how much it changed, no matter how much we changed the style of what we're saying, they built that framework around it. And unfortunately, a lot of times when the mainstream that's outside of hip hop, they usually are stuck on that old framework. Right. You see their commercials, they don't.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
They like, yo,
it's horrible.
Yeah,
but it comes from somewhere.
It does come from somewhere.
Right.
They just stuck back there.
Yeah, bro.
Although you can't really say rap music isn't mainstream now. It is.
Oh no, absolutely
mainstream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without
a question. So 2 reasons that I felt like we're not going to do the 2020s is because number one, because it's only 2022.
It's funny, dude.
Yeah, it's only 2022.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It doesn't really make sense. So anyway, so let me. I went through the pains. Oh, here's the other thing. I try to consider hard facts way more than opinion, because if we are on opposite sides of a thing and all we have to go off of is our opinion, we're going to be arguing all day.
That's a fact.
Nothing's going to, whatever.
That's a fact.
So with this, I left out mixtapes. Why did I leave out mixtapes?
Thank you.
Because
Thank you.
For the average mixtape, and I didn't make an exception because, funny enough, out of the 4 people that I have on here, all 3 of them, I believe, have relatively impactful mixtapes, but I still didn't factor that in because that's less.
It's hard.
There's less data, right?
It's harder to track because it's less
data.
Right. Yeah.
Right. All right. So I went through and just did this little thing for all the people that he named on that screenshot, and for the 4 that I believe are there. So starting with Lil Wayne, he's just running down some stats. Starting with Lil Wayne, if you ignore the fact that his first album came out in the 1990s, which disqualifies him in my eyes.
Me too.
In the 2010s, Lil Wayne put out 6 albums. 5 of them.
Whoa, wait for a second. So there indeed needs to be some caveats, because if somebody releases their first album in the 90s, but they're still, see, this is the problem with these lists. Because there's not a lot of them, but there are quite a few people that transcend eras and are still
absolutely,
and they're still making impacts on the culture, right? So
here's the thing: I don't like it. I don't like it because then you add exceptions.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't. This shit is eminently.
It's a hard thing. Yeah, it's a hard thing to do from the. Yeah, it's a hard thing to do. Because Lil Wayne kind of has an impressive.
I was about to say.
Yeah, he has an impressive.
He may have came out in the 90s, but let's call a spade a spade. He really came into his own.
No, here's the thing. I would absolutely consider him. So called me a hypocrite. I would absolutely consider him for the 2000s. But again, he didn't come out far before the 2000s.
He didn't.
Right. He didn't. So it is what it is. So Lil Wayne, 6 solo albums, 5 top 3 Billboard. So when I say top 3 Billboard, I'm not talking about Billboard rap. I'm not talking about Billboard hip hop R&B. I'm talking about Billboard.
Right.
Completely.
Period.
The whole thing.
Period. Yeah.
So 6 solo albums, 5 top 3 Billboard albums. The 6th album was a title exclusive when it released. So that explains why it didn't get as much reach as it could have possibly.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, he would have been 6 for 6 for top 3 Billboard albums, but it didn't happen. It was finally released, re-released in 2020. 2020 doesn't count for this.
Yeah.
So, all right. 2 collaborative albums. One of those was a top 3 US R&B hip hop. 25 singles. 1 top 3 Billboard. 7 top 3 US rap. 4 top 3 US R&B hip hop. 114 features. One of them was top Billboard. All right, that's Lil Wayne. Jay-Z. This was the second, objectively second dumbest, subjectively third dumbest.
Right.
And I love Jay-Z, but the 2010s was not his time. Jay-Z, 2 albums, both #1 Billboard. 2 collab albums, both top 3 Billboard. An argument could be made that Kanye belongs up here more than Jay-Z. If we aren't taking into account how long they were in the game before the era started.
Right.
17 singles, 4 of them top 3 US rap. 16 features, 2 of them top 3 Billboard. That's Jay-Z. Future actually has a decent claim to this. 7 albums, 6 of them top 3 Billboard, 38 singles, 3 top 3 US rap, 3 top 3 US R&B and hip hop, 64 features, 1 top 3 US rap. Mind you, I don't know a single Future song.
Me either. Also, I think this is part of the inherent flaw in all of it, because who rap like Future? See, Impact is we right
and
now.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, right now we're talking about sales. Yeah, I'm so glad you said that. We're gonna get to that. Chief Keef. 4 albums, 18 singles, 15 features.
See,
notice I didn't say anything about charting.
Stop. Hold on for a second. I need a moment of this. The fact that he put this guy's name amongst even the body of work. We're talking. Yeah. Have your subjective love for whatever, or even come at me with a certain measure of impact, because there is a genre out there for which Chief Keef was very influential and very impactful.
Absolutely.
So come at me with that. Don't come at me with sales and the amount of singles.
Listen
to those numbers, yo.
Listen to how many albums everybody else.
Right.
I'm not gonna say names. So we got 8, 4. That's equal to Chief Keef. But that also happens to be an all-time legend. Anyway, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. Mind you, I don't think his first album actually came out till like really late in the 2010s.
See, some of this may also have to do with the lowering of the bar that was taking place during a certain era. So because some of the statements I would hear people make about the current, whoever the current hotness was, and they would try to compare it to motherfuckers who's been in the game for so long and then has literally just a huge discography. They've won awards and to see people doing it, I'm like, yo, okay, it's cool for you to say this is the new hotness now. That this is the guy people listening to now. That might be fairly obvious, but you can't put that in the same conversation as far as achievements.
His first album was top 3 US rap. That's it.
That's his biggest claim to fame.
Yes.
Some of y'all are so upset. I know what it is. This is the quest for authenticity. This is the quest for relevancy. And this happens more than just people who do content. This is also with regular people in their eras and their genres. They want that period of time where they were old enough to be outside and be listening to music to have some sort of relevancy.
Absolutely.
So the first thing they do is try to shit on like legends that yes, we get it. Your guy just got here. So I'm not going to completely shit on him because he's just getting his run started. But you cannot ignore the fact that this motherfucker been over here winning American Music Awards,
bro.
Like, yo,
mind you, I didn't even take any of that into account.
Right.
All right. So moving on. The next person is not the rest of the 4 that I have on mine for 2010s. J. Cole. 5 albums, all of them #1 Billboard. 3 collab albums. 1 of them #1 Billboard. 27 singles, 2 top 3 US R&B hip hop, 2 top 3 US rap, 23 features. And for these, I put some of the impact beyond whether people like them or not.
Right. This has nothing to do with that. It's impact.
He put his record label Dreamville on the map. People out there that like JID, right? People out there that like a couple other people I'm not gonna get into naming all the names, but that's a direct result of J. Cole.
Yes.
The whole going platinum with no features thing. That was a big thing. Like that was a whole thing.
For those of you that don't know, J. Cole is filling stadiums. Yes. I get it. Y'all, because of his aesthetic.
Right.
His aesthetic seems very underground. J. Cole is filling stadiums, B.
Facts.
He's literally filling.
He also produces a lot of his music.
Yeah. I think people, because he does have an understated, like, he drips of authenticity. It comes off of him, right? And people have traditionally viewed the authentic with the less commercially successful. Yeah. That's how that's been, especially in hip hop.
That's still so. Truth be told, I'll probably be lyrically Talib Kweli.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the whole thing.
That narrative, but under your noses, J. Cole has numbers,
bruh.
Racking up numbers.
And on his last album, he was happy to let you guys know,
and he should have, because you know what? I must admit, when he first started doing that, I was like, "Come on, B, we ain't trying to hear that from you."
No, I still don't want to hear it. But
I understand why somebody would do that, because what will happen, what inevitably will happen, is that they will put him in a category that's not fair,
right?
Because if you don't speak up and toot your own horn, sometimes, other people will get a chance to write a narrative about you, and it will stick. So he had to say, "Oh, before y'all try to put me into the dustbin of authentic but not successful, allow me to reintroduce myself to your dumb ass." You see this stadium?
I also wanted to mention that during that time frame, he did not put out an album that didn't go platinum.
Again, that's why he has to say something, because if he don't, and I've seen this happen far too often anyway, where I'll see the new hotness, who is getting a lot of streams now and doing really well for himself, all of a sudden just assumes that this is the guy for that era. Like, ho, because some of these same guys is getting a lot of streams can't fill a basic club. They can't get 500 people in a goddamn club. And you know who revealed a lot of that shit to me? Because I don't follow a lot of these little niggas. I don't fuck with them like that. Unfortunately, it was DJ Academics. He said it on one of his he was like, "Yo, y'all trying to come at me and try and low boy me because of my platform, because who you are. But I got to tell you, I'm looking at the places that you perform. Y'all not filling up them. Some of the people y'all trying to clown, like some of the older, if you put their name on a marquee,
it's over.
They're gonna fill. Y'all not even filling the clubs. So miss me with that." He was basically like, "My YouTube platform, I know I get more money than a lot of y'all, for real. I know I do. So don't try no more of that trying to sun me about because you are a famous rapper. A lot of people know your name, because you're not even filling these clubs."
Right. That's where the money comes from.
That's where the money comes from.
Yeah.
That's where the money comes from. Miss me with that.
All right, so that was J. Cole. Kendrick Lamar, 4 albums. 3 of them top 3 Billboard. 1 compilation album, number 1 Billboard. 1 soundtrack. Let's stop. Soundtrack. He is the only person up here with a soundtrack. Number 1 Billboard. 20 singles, 1 number 1 Billboard. 44 features, 1 number 1 Billboard. Some of his impact pieces. The Control Verse.
Oh my goodness.
That made everybody who is known as a rapper's rapper either respond or their fans tried to force them to respond.
Yeah, because that shit was so controversial at the time. I will never forget that, because like for me, I felt like, good. Make these niggas rap again. Make these niggas rap. I don't want to hear none of that other stuff about your furs, and even though a lot of these guys didn't do that, that's not what they did. But just the whole idea of it, like, make these niggas rap. Don't piss people all up, shit. I want to hear them bars.
It was an amazing.
Yes, it was.
I was coming back. Where was I coming back from? I was getting off a plane. Coming back home. I had just landed in the BWI, and when I got my signal and everything back, my shit blowing up. Yo, Kendrick Lamar, blah blah blah. Kendrick Lamar. Text messages. Yo, you heard that Kendrick Control verse yet? Yeah. Blah blah blah. I'm like,
that shit.
What the fuck did he do?
That shit had the culture jumping, and the thing I liked about it the most, the focus was on the bars, because like there's as hip hop became more Hollywood, there is a tendency to focus on the trappings of it, around it, of the success of this and never. But that core essence of just nigga rap, spit some shit that give me the jazz face stuff. Spit some shit,
bruh. So from this verse, an excerpt, the what some people may consider the most scathing part.
Yeah.
I heard the barbershops being great debates all the time about who's the best MC, Kendrick, Jigga, and Nas, Eminem, Andre 3000. The rest of y'all new niggas just new niggas. Don't get involved. And I ain't rocking no more designer shit. White tees and Nike Cortez. This Red Corvette's anonymous. I'm usually homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with, but this is hip hop, and them niggas should know what time it is. Yes, and that goes for Jermaine Cole, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, Jay Electron, Tyler, Mac Miller. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. Trying to make sure your core fans never heard of you niggas. They don't want to hear not one more noun or verb for you niggas.
Listen.
Calm down.
No.
Relax.
No.
Who hurt you?
No. All of y'all. Listen, yo. That was the most antisocial,
bruh.
The most.
Here's the thing, yo. I love y'all. Y'all my niggas.
I'm still gonna.
But this,
right here. This is, I know what this is. This for history. This for the. Whose name is said? Nah, yo, that energy. Mind you, it's to the point, and I feel like. For some people, they just feel how they feel. There's nothing wrong with an opinion. Cool. Yeah. For some of the more hardcore hip hop fans, I think this is one of the reasons that they try to leave Big Sean out of this top 4 because this was Big Sean's song. It was his song,
and nobody remembered
talked about his verse, yo.
At all.
Yo, to be honest, his verse was dope. It was just
his verse was absolutely dope.
You know what the problem is, yo? Kendrick went upstairs. Yo, I used to say this all the time about nearly almost any field, like basketball. I always said, yo, Scottie Pippen and them is nice. They're nice.
Right.
And if there was no Jordan, like Scottie Pippen is dead ass nice.
Facts.
The problem is you can have a team full of angels and they're gonna look impressive as shit. Until God put on his
facts.
So he put on his shoes and he come out there, and then everybody gonna look. It's not that they not nice,
right?
It's just that when it comes to him, they nice as in they help an old lady cross the street,
right?
Or they get a cat from out of the tree. that's you nice that way when he get out there.
This nigga is the common lies in public perception that we know about Gandhi.
Facts.
Like what? Facts. This nigga Mother Teresa on the track. Like what?
Upstairs, yo. He went upstairs.
Well, here's my thing about this. So I pondered this because it's Big Sean track, mind you. Them niggas didn't record this together.
No.
So I don't know if it's a good thing because you got supreme confidence, or it's a bad thing that you just didn't read the room, that you heard this verse and decided, it's fine.
Yeah,
I can still put my verse on here.
There's an
This song wouldn't have come out.
That's and this is the thing about that.
He says Big Sean's name in the list of people that he's going at. 2 of the people, because J-Elect is on the song too.
Mm-hmm.
He says Big Sean's name. He says J-Elect's name.
Mm-hmm.
I've never. I never listened to J-Elect's verse.
Me either.
I've listened to this song at least 20 times. I've never listened to J-Elect's verse. Why? Because it's after Kendrick's.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's no reason for me. After that happened, there's no reason for me to keep listening.
Yeah.
And again, if I'm Big Sean, this song doesn't see the light of day.
Well, this is the other thing. Now, there's another school of thought.
I'm rewriting my verse.
I've heard people say, I've heard people give Big Sean actual respect for that.
Oh yeah, it's
I've heard people say,
in a way.
They say, he went with what he went with.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if you heard what he put down, for the sake of the overall song, right? Where the attention can be on the song and not just one verse, you probably want to go and just go upstairs. And this is cool. I'll put this on something else.
The name of the fucking song is Control.
Yeah.
You have control over this.
Ultimate control. This is on your project, man.
This is yours. It's your song.
Mm-hmm.
Exert some of your control and rewrite that fucking verse.
Let them talk about the song. Don't have everybody just talking about Kendrick, yo.
And you ain't had to get rid of your whole verse.
Mm-mm.
You could have just changed a couple of things here and there. Mm-hmm. But
I do that shit all the time. Whatever first verse you hear me write, that's not probably going to be the end. Like I'm going to go through it again. Go through it. I could probably change this to that.
Right.
I could probably move this to that. I'm gonna take this. I'll completely put this in. Like, either way, Kendrick went upstairs on the niggas.
Bruh.
And he didn't come down. He went upstairs so long. He went upstairs so long that he did not come down until like what? It was a while after that when he came down, where people would stop being on that. They still honored him, but they wasn't. It wasn't to that. It was a while.
It lasted for months.
Yeah, he was upstairs for a long time.
Months, and responses were coming for months.
He came months. He came down. He went up to the top of the mountain. Got them stone tablets all pinned up and shit. He came down. His hair was white.
We got responses from each member of Slaughterhouse. We got a response from Eminem. We got a response from I think Fabulous. We got a response from Lloyd Banks. We got a response from a bunch of people
and a bunch of underground who just wanted to. Let me tell you something. This is what I mean by make them niggas rap.
Right. Rising tide raises all ships.
That's facts. Make them niggas rap.
All right, so among his other impact pieces, he put TDE on the map. No, it's not his label, but he put it on the map.
Right.
And like I said, it can't be overstated. He had a soundtrack. Like he had a soundtrack to the biggest selling movie at that time.
Yeah.
You can't really.
Yeah, you can't just.
Yeah, that's all right. Drake. 5 albums.
Let me get this in real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna push it aside. Boo. Go ahead.
Okay, I get it. I understand.
I had to get it out.
I'm surprised Paul may pop up with Drake. 5 albums. All of them number 1. 2 collab albums. 1 of them number 1. 52 singles. 5 of them number 1. And when I say number 1 and nothing else, I'm talking about that Billboard.
No,
overall.
We're not talking about number 1.
There's no reason for me to put anything else.
Yeah.
75 features, 4 top 3 Billboard. He helped Impact. He helped make Young Money. That was a thing. Would not have been what it was without him.
Yes, he did.
Temporarily ended the career of another rapper who would have been very high on this list. Then brought that nigga's career back from the dead.
Yes, he did.
It happened.
He brought Meek Mill's back.
It happened.
And look, he gave y'all Nicki Minaj. However you feel about Nicki.
Yeah, because she started before that, but it wasn't. until she was with Young Money.
Yeah.
She wasn't the Nicki Minaj. Yeah, so bruh,
this nigga had charted a diss song.
Bruh.
A diss song.
I think he almost won a Grammy or won a Grammy for it, one of the two. Like,
you don't get more. Listen, this songs, what you want as a rapper, that somebody puts a diss song out on you, even if people like it and thought, oh, yo, he got you. The last thing you want, forget about it. You want to forget about it. Last thing you want is for it to chart and then win an award.
Bruh. Like, what? And here's the thing. It was not, it was nothing poppy about the song. It was actually a diss song, like a real diss song.
Do I think people overrated it? Yeah. I've heard other diss songs I thought cut more scathing.
I think it's just them taking into context who it's from.
This is what I say too. It's who it's from, and also, let's face it, he put a balance in there.
And there was a very worthy opponent.
Right. A worthy opponent.
A former battle rapper.
Come on, B. A worthy opponent. You put a worthy opponent combined with the fact that the bars, like the shit he was saying, was good enough. That was him. And then the beat, it was catchy enough to the point where people was like,
okay, all right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, he got you. Yeah. He got you up out of here.
And then the name back to back. And the way he even put it
execution.
In the song. They're gonna ask if I can play the shit back to back. And what do people do? They played that shit back to back.
Execution. He literally Bret Hart that situation.
Bro.
He was the excellence of execution with that beat. I would have loved to see him do that with Button though.
It wasn't never gonna happen.
You know what? But Button told him though, you ain't.
He tried with Pusha.
You're not gonna Bell Biv DeVoe your way out of this one. That's not happening.
He tried with Pusha. It didn't work as well. He at least gave a valiant effort.
Yeah.
With Button, he didn't
say. He ain't even.
Yeah, he didn't.
He ain't even say nothing.
No, it wouldn't.
You can, and I get why. Because
it was a smart move.
I get why, but what I'm saying to you is, don't think that it had quite the you not responding had quite the effect that you wanted it to have.
Yeah,
because I will never forget.
It didn't die.
I will listen.
Yeah, it didn't just die off because
I have forgotten my keys.
That's funny.
I had forgotten a while of that or two back that day.
I don't like you.
I will never forget that. I will never, ever, ever forget Joe Button's diss.
Yo,
never.
So yeah, like it was a masterclass on how to, like, Back to Back was a masterclass on how to make a diss record in the current time.
A masterclass on how to make it, also to roll out. All of that factors in, because you wanted to have the most, when you diss somebody, you do want to have the most impact that it possibly can, but no one had an expectation at any other time in hip-hop that a diss song would chart and then do what that did. Nobody had that expectation. Like, I don't even think No Vaseline didn't chart or win no awards based off of it. And that is one of the most scathing. Pac's verse and Hit 'Em Up,
right,
is some of the most disrespectful. I mean,
out the gate, like the first few lines out the gate, you knew where it was headed. That shit was so disrespectful to my man Bucky. Bucky was in the streets at the time when they came out. He wasn't really. He listened to rap. That made him pay attention to rap. Word.
Hit 'Em Up made him pay attention to rap.
That's funny.
Disrespect. I mean, that's when you throw all pretense of this being a battle of skill out the window. This is just me saying fuck you. Like, fuck you, period.
So yeah, I mean, like, regardless of how you feel about the guy, there's no way that you just can't deny, like, he belongs up here. It's just what it is. Like, and now we have Big Sean.
Hold on, so what years are we in right now? What year are we talking
2010s.
About? Okay, because I see the issue. This is why I don't like the Mount Rushmore thing. So Pac is around 90s.
Sure.
Right? No, I do not think Pac was one of the greatest rappers as far as technical ability.
Right.
He had songs that I liked. He had songs that he did impress me with his flow. That's all right. But I did not find him to be one of the most. But when you talk impact,
bruh,
I don't know. Like, where he. This is why I don't like. This is why I don't. And Biggie.
No, I'm not gonna.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
All right, last for the 2010s is Big Sean. I believe he belongs there. I get why other people want to put someone else there. I get it. Right. But 4 albums, 4 top 3 Billboard, 2 collab albums, 27 singles, 6 top 3 US R&B hip hop, 6 top 3 US rap, 37 features. Here's, if you want to say nothing else about Big Sean, whether you like what I'm about to say or not, there have been several documented sources. There have been several actual rappers who admitted this. He is cited as the father of what is called the super duper flow. What is the super duper flow, you may ask? One of the most famous ones is that Nicki Minaj is going down, Basement. It's that truncated punchline.
Yeah, listen, that shit got to be annoying to me after a while. Like the first people that doing it,
how many times you kept hearing it?
Yeah, like the first people that was doing it, I was like, okay, cool.
That's Big Sean. That came from Big Sean.
That's his shit.
That's his shit. Drake has even admitted,
and niggas is still doing it.
Yep.
Absolutely. Go to battle rap.
Absolutely.
You ain't even gotta go to the music, but go to battle rap. Niggas is still doing that shit
to this day. So, bruh, nobody else on this list for that decade has this type of
impact
thing. Yeah. Not this specific type.
I know what you're saying.
Nobody else on the list has that.
I always
one particular flow that everybody just.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, did you change the way people rap?
That's a fact.
Is there, like, because to be clear, every rapper that was substantial and known for bars and all stuff like that, they do have a school.
Yeah.
They all have a school.
Funny about that. So I mentioned, here's the other thing that's very interesting about him out of this top 4. When you look at J. Cole came from the Nas school of hip hop.
Yes, he did.
With a estranged father of Jay-Z. Kendrick, for years, I was trying to figure it out. DMX. The way that he switches his flows, the way that he has different characters, that's DMX.
It is.
That's DMX. Drake, it's Ja Rule. It's Ja Rule. It's some of 50 Cent. That's what it is. And then on top, we ain't gonna get to that. Big Sean, I can't think of a person.
Okay.
I can't think of a person. Not to say that there is nobody. I can't think
of a single person
whose DNA is just all through
DNA. Like
I can't think of
if you go through and do the whole genome thing, genome, you're gonna find Rakim, you're gonna find because they set the. But I mean, beyond that, I can't think of somebody.
I clearly been a type of blueprint for him.
Right.
No, I personally cannot find a person.
It's funny how that works too, because it's like chicken or egg. All right. So I've been in interviews where I've told people blatantly that one of the people that made me want to rap, one of the first people that actually made me want to rap was Dougie Fresh. I sound nothing like Dougie Fresh. Nothing. But he was the guy. Then it's been it's been a lot of people after that. Cool G Rap was one of the other ones that was high on my list at some point. But that's fire. That's fire, Mike.
We can do that.
That's fire. That's gonna take some doing, but
it's gonna take
it's gonna take some doing. But that's fire.
Because here's the thing. There's a difference between somebody who inspired you.
Yes.
Prime example, real life example. My father versus my stepfather. I look nothing like my stepfather.
Right.
But a lot of the things that I've adopted in life
is
come from that nigga.
Yeah.
My father, that's the blueprint.
Right. Yo, that's such a great example because I'm pretty much in the same boat. Like my biological father did not raise me. Right. His impact on me directly is negligible. Right. But there are certain things I get from him that other people tell me who knew him better than I do, saying, "Yeah, your father was like that." Yeah, like my mom, she used to say, when I was a kid, I would get mad and I had nothing to do with that energy, so I butt my head into the wall. And my mom said I was doing that shit in the crib, and she said that anger, that's your father's anger. That's your biological father's anger. You got that.
Right.
But all that other shit, I got from my dad and my grandfather. I imprinted on them. Because they were, there's some other people too, like my brother Marlon. Yeah, because I was 11 when I met him. Right. And even though he was a year older than me, he seemed like he was 15 years older than me because he was on some bullshit all the time. Right. So I picked up stuff from him too. But like you said, my biological father, no, that's the blueprint.
Yeah.
That's the genetic blueprint.
Right.
But the conditioning,
you might have seen other people that you wanted to do.
Yes.
All right, cool. I'm not gonna do it necessarily like that, but I see this other motherfucker, the DNA is there.
Yeah.
The DNA is there. You can't miss it.
You can't miss it, B.
Yeah.
You can't miss it.
So I think that's the difference between those two things. All right, so 2010s is over. 2000s. I have no idea how you would come up with this. My thing, let me freestyle one. One person I absolutely have to be put up there, and I hate the fact.
I hate it. Hate aside, B. You gotta put.
I know. Kanye West absolutely belongs on the Rushmore for the 2000s. If you're talking about the blueprint, that's funny. We were just talking about.
Yeah, we just talking
about. I'm talking about the album, The Blueprint. You're talking about so many things that happened from him doing the Blueprint, from him increasing the spotlight on people like Talib Kweli, on people like Common, on people like him bringing into the game one of the top 4 from the 2010s, Big Sean. When you talk about him giving Twista a little pocket of relevancy in the 2000s, when you talk about all of this stuff, and he's a producer.
Yeah.
None of what I just said before was about his production.
Right.
Then you add his production on top of that.
Right.
These
are the people that contributed and defined a generation of what and he does belong. And I can't stand his.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? But from a dispassionate, this was also my argument in that interview about Jay-Z. Like to be honest with you, Jay-Z's entire style, as far as the aesthetics, is not me.
Right.
That's not. But he had songs not only that I enjoyed. That's of course that's part of it, but that's not because he wasn't even the one with the most amount of songs that I enjoyed. Right. I didn't check for him like that. Right. However, I seriously doubt you can find any other rapper that had the impact not just on hip hop, but outside of hip hop, like a Jay-Z has, and is still exerting an effect on it now. Who he is. When you see that evolution thing chart that they use, where you see the start off as the little ape and then it comes up, that is one of the most inaccurate depictions of evolution that they ever put out there. However, just using it for this case right here, all of that stuff from before birth, what a Jay-Z could be, that there could be a Jay-Z. He is that. He's the one. I know niggas don't want to hear it. He's not my favorite, my favorite rapper of all time. No,
I neither.
But I'm just a dispassionate look. Who had the impact he had, even right now? And the nigga don't rap all the time.
Right.
He rap when he wanna rap.
Right.
He rap when he wants to rap.
Which, by the way, is one of the reasons why I disqualified him from the 2010s.
Yeah,
because you put out two albums and two group albums.
Right.
Anyway, so Kanye. Now I mentioned for these other people, I mentioned their top Billboard. If they didn't have a top Billboard, top US rap or top US hip hop and R&B. I don't have to do that for Kanye.
Ass.
For Kanye, for this time period of the 2000s, like I said, remember I said when I was doing Jay-Z, I said Kanye probably has a case for the 2010s if we're not doing the whole time period thing.
Right.
So just let me look at the 2010s. All three of those categories, every single album he put out in the 2010s, number one.
Right.
All three categories. Right. Every single album. And the first album he put out in 2010, I am not accepting a debate. It is the most well-crafted hip-hop album of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah. Because I would say it was Midnight Marauders.
I get it. I get it. It's up there. Midnight Marauders is up there for me.
Yeah.
But My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I can't be swayed. There is no evidence that exists that will sway me from that perspective. But let's go before that. Remember what I just said about his 2010s and how he was number one in all three of those categories?
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same for the 2000s. He dropped to number 2 overall for the first album, but that was his debut album.
Right.
So number 2 overall, number one. 4 times platinum, 5 times platinum, 3 times platinum. Mind you, again, that's just his solo albums. Not that, like, again, we're not including mixtapes, but the mixtapes were a thing back then. That was when I first heard Big Sean, and he is nothing like the rapper that he was then, because it was an early Big Sean.
Yeah, you evolve, especially if you're a rapper. See, because some motherfuckers not. Some motherfuckers are I'm rapping for the celebrity. Right. Once they get it, they stop evolving their shit because I'm already him. I am him already. But when you're a rapper that rapidy raps, there will be some evolution in your style. It's not going to stay exactly the same as it was when you first come out. It's going to fucking change. Okay. It is. And yes, the further you go along, for a lot of them, the less you can pull out their genetic origins because they're evolving it. They're evolving it. So the guys that I imprinted on as far as rap style early on, I don't sound nothing like them anymore. Because that's like the 40 fucking years. All right. That's like the 40 years. So I don't sound like them anymore. But certain lessons I got from them, I still employ. And I do it without even thinking. It's like, you do it without even thinking. Like, I know how to approach certain beats a certain type of way. And I know it's because of dumb people back then. And now I can't even tell you which individual one gave me the lesson, which song that I heard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't tell you which one it was, but I know it was one of them. I know motherfuckers like Redman, like I said, Cool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, LL Cool J, even DMC. Because I always thought DMC was way iller than Run. I always thought he was way iller than Run. You know what I'm saying? And I loved how these niggas, this is one thing I love about them, because a lot of these motherfuckers can't do this type of shit. They came out, they had a certain style. Call and response. That was the style that was most prevalent during the era when they came out amongst hip-hop, right? Mm-hmm. Right around the era of Down with the King, they switched their whole style up, and them niggas was rapping. They was rapping. And I remember listening to that going, because, you know, you expect a certain thing from running them, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm listening, I'm like, yo, these niggas spitting. They are spitting. And that's how you knew they took, for all the success, for all the barriers they knocked down, they took that rap shit seriously. Because they ain't stayed stagnated. They could have stayed stagnated in that. They could have did it, maybe evolved it a little bit. They could have did that and still got money for a while.
Absolutely.
Oh, they started rapping, yo. They started rapping.
Facts.
Gotta respect it.
My last 2 bits of I don't want to use evidence because again it's opinion based. Yeah. So I don't want to use the word evidence, but my last 2 bits of claim for Kanye to belong up there. One of the things is he did a thing that I like when artists do. I like when yes, you have your main genre, but I like when artists make their albums different subgenres.
Yes.
For instance,
it's pretty dope.
One example that I used to talk about all the time was Eminem. Those first 3 albums, not Infinite. I'm not counting Infinite,
right?
Because I've had this argument with stans before. Like you have no idea. Like Eminem, the first piece of music that I bought was Eminem. Leave Me the Fuck Alone. Right.
But
yeah, not counting Infinite. Those first 3 albums, they all had different genres.
Yeah.
The third one was hip hop. The second, I can't remember exactly how I used to categorize them, and I haven't listened to all of them in a while.
A long time. Yeah.
But they all have different subgenres to them. Kanye, his first album was boom bap.
Yes,
his second album was orchestral.
Yeah.
His third album was stadium music. And then the fourth album was 808s, super experimental. I would give credit to T-Pain for the auto-tune thing, but right below him, the way that Kanye started using it.
My thing is, this has always been my issue with Kanye, because you can't take away what he meant, the impact that he had to the culture. You can't.
Right.
I just prefer boom bap Kanye. To this day, I prefer boom bap.
Sure.
To this day, I prefer him.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not going.
Funny
thing for me. No thanks. Not that I didn't like it. Not that I didn't like it. Not that I didn't like it.
Right.
But no, it's not my favorite. I've realized that recently. Like, not my favorite Kanye. Subject matter, yes, my favorite Kanye. Everything else, not my favorite Kanye.
Yo, I feel like the beat he did. So many of them. So some of the beats he did on in his boom bap phase, I still feel haven't been matched. They still don't. Other stuff doesn't give me the same.
Absolutely. I'm with
matched.
That.
You know what I'm saying?
So here's the other thing. It's kind of tied in with his influence, but it's the people that he works with.
Yeah, that's something to do with it.
From bringing up some of those people from Chicago to this. He had on his second album the first real proof musically of the Jay-Z and Nas beef being over. That's huge.
Right.
That's a big deal. Like, that's not just something that happened.
Right.
No. Yeah, so Kanye's up there.
Yeah, yo, and I just gotta say this too. Just on the Kanye thing. Because I can't stand that motherfucker.
Hey.
However, the Diamonds Are Forever beat is one of the it's one of the craziest beats that have ever been made, in my opinion. That shit is the energy in that shit is ridiculous.
This is what I'm saying. That's his orchestral album.
That shit is
that up to that point, because I wasn't really a huge fan of Graduation. That's the third album. And I wasn't really a big fan of 808s until later I started liking some of the songs. Yeah. But up until this first 4 albums, it was Late Registration for me. It was the orchestral album for me, because you hear all the strings, all the horns, all the everything throughout the entire album. And I'm like, what is he doing? This is not what he was doing before. What are you? I like it. Don't stop.
Right.
And then he stopped. But still, because artists
that is also the problem. Because
artists have to evolve.
They are, but here's the problem though. You get caught up, like even myself. I'm an artist. I'm not going to sound exactly the way I sound 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever, right? And I understand that, and I'm good with it because that keeps me interested in doing it for real.
Yeah.
But as a fan, I also understand them. I understand them saying,
absolutely,
I want more of that. I don't think you did enough of this.
Yeah.
Like, give me, I could take another couple of albums of this. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
I did not like the stadium music. As far as production, like
I'm good on that.
Really, the rap, like I was not a big fan of Graduation at all. And like I said, obviously at the time, I hated 808s at the time with a passion. So when he came out with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I was like, oh, you're just gonna combine all of it. You're just gonna
maybe that's
what he was building to.
Yeah.
Purposely,
and maybe I don't know. It may not have been purposely. See, that's the other thing. It could have been very organic in his production. It could have been in the transition phase in his production from one style to this next one, because you know how creativity works.
Yep.
You hear something from somebody else, gives you an idea. Go, that would have been. I would have liked that a lot better if it was Bam. And you incorporate what you thought should be. It's kind of like, it's funny to say this. It's kind of like even with creating my creation of comic book characters. Like for certain characters, they might be analogs to other characters. So I felt like, this character would be the shit if he was like this, and not like, oh, you fucked him up. This one ain't gonna do that. The one I'm making ain't gonna see. Like, it's the same with music with that way. Like, you might hear something, you might get influenced, and it might be by somebody completely outside of your genre. Because most of the people I was inspired by from a musical standpoint, like the type of beats that I would like to use, I got in song format. It was rock. It was rock and pop from the 80s. Like a lot of the bridges, a lot of the early stuff I was doing was not, it was the rap part was influenced by rap. But like the structure, the song structure is influenced by top 40. By top 40.
Yeah, real shit. I never talk about it, but most of my beats have that classical music theory thing in them. I know a lot of people aren't going to pick up on it. That's not why I do it.
Right. But that's the influence. So, when I was a kid, I stayed listening to fucking top 40. My grandfather used to buy me a radio. Every time I break one, he'd buy me another one. And it would be late. It'd be late at night. I got the radio right on the side of my on the wall, because at the time my brother had bunk beds, and I'm on the top bunk bed, and I would have it up against the wall right there, and I'm listening to top 40. And Casey Kasem, he used to do his top 40 show twice a day on Sundays. He would do it at 12 o'clock noon, and I'll be in the house listening to that shit 12 o'clock noon, and then late at night, at midnight, they would run that shit again, and I would listen to it. The John Cougar Mellencamp's, all of that shit. Don
McLean.
Oh, nigga. Duran. all them motherfuckers. You motherfucking right. That shit really is the thing that inspired musically, as far as how to structure a song. It was done through that. And today I still use that to a certain, it's a lot less, but I still do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do too many bridges anymore. But I'm just saying.
Sure.
Yeah.
So let me see. I gotta do it. I haven't done research, but I don't need to. 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Nobody since. Snoop did it before him, but nobody since has had the type of debut.
No, and also a couple other things added on to that to bolster that claim. Who walked in the game and grabbed the 800-pound gorilla by the neck and squeezed till his head burst like a pimple and got him the fuck out of there while criticizing him doing the same thing basically that he was doing. Yeah. This is what 50 did to Ja Rule. For those of you For those of you that came after all of this to be paying attention,
yeah, the jokes and everything, blah blah. No, Ja Rule
was a monster. He was a fucking monster. You know, nigga, y'all don't get it.
Yeah,
we heard the Cookie Monster's voice all over the place. Oh, I do it. Listen, he was that. He seemed unassailable. I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of Ja Rule. I wasn't. The reason why I wasn't a fan of Ja Rule, quite simply, because when I was introduced to him,
I was a teenager.
He looked like he was coming off like a mixture of Pac and DMX, and I wasn't fucking with that. Like,
that's exactly what.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that kind of got me off him. And then he started doing a lot of the singy stuff, and I really wasn't into that. Not because that I didn't think it was, some of the stuff wasn't dope. It wasn't that. It was like when the reason I was into 50 more. 50 was doing the gangster shit, that street shit, but doing the same. It's the same sing-songy style that Ja Rule was doing. But Ja Rule had a stranglehold on the industry at that time. And for 50 Cent to come from out of this dirty ass 50 coming off the streets, this is the same 50 that got dissed by Wu-Tang and threatened by Wu-Tang for that how to rob shit. This is that 50 to come up, call Ja a buster, say I don't murder, I don't believe you. Murder, I'll fuck around and leave you. Oh, what? And made people laugh at Ja. He made people laugh. He made Ja look ridiculous, yo. No matter what Ja tried to do. For instance, that incident that happened at the studio. Yeah. All reports is that Ja and them got the better of that situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
All reports. Now, all reports. Now, do I think one-on-one could Jeff 50? Probably not. 50 used to box. I think, you know what I'm saying? But crew on crew, all reports is they got the best of that. What that should have done was put a cap on that gangster shit. Yo, you know what? Because these niggas with that singing shit just came up in here and put the beats on y'all and somebody got stabbed. Like, look, that should have ended that. It didn't. That's the power of 50 was that he was still able to ridicule the fuck out of you. And then, by the way, you know you fucked up, right? Because 50 already had you out of here. And then you had to put Eminem's name in.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? Because we haven't mentioned Eminem in any Mount Rushmore things. To be honest with you, I don't know that that's something he would want.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you this. If anybody want to front in 2022 and act like Eminem don't have a bunch of sons out this bitch, you're bugging.
Here's the thing.
Bugging.
I wasn't going to be the one to broach his name.
I know. Because a lot of niggas is capping in 2022, 2021, and 2020. So a lot of people capping about M. All right, I see you. Some of y'all capping because for real you hating. Yeah. You hating because bar for bar on your best day, you not fucking with that man. You bugging because, and I'm gonna tell you something else. The reason why I don't really respect a lot of the current takes on M that I see, because the God MC in an interview from a French outlet, when questioned about M, they tried to press him about M and try to press him in a bad way, like trying to really get him to discredit M, because they know if he said it, people going, no, and he didn't. Rakim said, hold up. Nah, that white boy nasty. Nah, look. Who you gonna really look at Rakim and say, Rakim don't know what he talking about? That's the God MC. So all you other motherfuckers with your little internet followings or lack thereof, right? All of y'all, I don't care about this new narrative you trying to push on that man, because I was not a believer at first. The first song I heard of his was My Name Is, and I hated it. And I said, I'm not buying that shit. And then my producer, Sean Black, said, yo, don't do that. Go buy it. Don't look at that song as a representative of what she got on there. And I went and got, was like, whoa, oh. And it hit different, especially since, just gonna put it out there, a lot of you niggas stopped rapping. Y'all got comfortable. Y'all got these shiny ass suits. Y'all started getting jiggy with it. Y'all started getting a bunch of money. Y'all started getting, because you had access now to top producers. So you start leaning into the beat, saving the song. Y'all was doing that. It was around the time when I stopped really liking hip hop a whole lot. It wasn't enough out that was doing shit that I liked. And then I was like, yo, this boy, what? And on top of that, his subject matter was different.
Yep.
His subject matter was different.
Something different.
It was something different. So a lot of y'all gonna cap in 2022. That's cool. I see you. Don't think we don't see the cap. We see it. And we're gonna act like that man was not crushing it, was not doing shit that made your face go, the fuck? All right. You can cap now, you what? But all right.
Here's the thing. I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. For my 2000s Mount Rushmore, I might have to replace 50 with M.
You do. You know why I say you do? If it wasn't for M, and 50 will tell you this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying nothing controversial right now.
No.
50 will tell, which is why 50 is so loyal.
Yeah.
Which
it's
is why
three people. It's three people that you can't say nothing bad about to 50 Cent. Yeah. Eminem, Dr. Dre, Jam Master Jay. So,
again, I hadn't heard of him. I did hear the How to Rob song, but I didn't associate it with him because he wasn't a big enough name.
Yeah, I heard the How to Rob.
Look at this nigga saying crazy shit. All right, that's cool. It wasn't until M went on that interview, that nationwide interview, and said, right now, the person I like the most right now is 50 Cent.
Right.
And then not long after that, he signed that nigga. Now, I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I don't know if that signing was already in the works and he was putting a stamp on him. It could have already been in the works to put a stamp on him.
That would just been smart.
Yeah, exactly. So again, also, can we say how many other people that was around him that wound up getting platinum albums because of their association?
Bruh.
B12,
Obi Trice. Shit. Of course, 50 Cent.
You could really stop there at 50 Cent because
I mean
the impact is
the linear part of if I remember correctly of how I was introduced to 50 Cent. I heard How to Rob. I think the next song I heard was Nobody Likes Me. Nobody. Yeah, I think that was the second song, and I think the third song I heard was Wankster. And after that, I was like, oh, he's probably here to stay.
Then
he's probably here to stay.
What's also crazy about that too is Dre is a legend.
Absolutely,
Dre is legendary, and yes.
Spoiler alert, Dre is on the Mount Rushmore for the 90s.
Yes. y'all can kiss my ass. Yes.
No matter what.
But think about this. M's so dope that let's look, the NWA era was over.
Yep.
That was done. Dre found a whole new level of prominence.
Yo, wait, hold up. So to skip the Dre real quick. He was in a group.
Jonathan is hilarious.
I actually hate that song. I may have only listened to that song like 5 times.
That's why this is funny.
Never. Never was a fan of that song.
Wasn't that a response to something?
No, it wasn't. It was him
bullshit.
trying to redo another song. Magic Stick. It was him trying to recapture.
Magic Stick. Yeah.
It was him trying to recapture the thing of Magic Stick, and it just no. But Dre, he was in a group with the lever joints and the.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then that stopped, and then NWA, and then that stopped, and then Pac, and then Snoop,
and
and then that stopped, and then M.
Listen,
and then 50, and then Game, and then Kendrick. Oh, my bad. My bad.
Yo, Dre's a legend. My question is though, does Dre get his billions without M? Does he get in a position?
Absolutely. No. Stop. Absolutely not.
All right, that's all.
No, there's no way around it.
So we can cap.
Yeah.
And we can make.
Yo, Eminem put out 2 diamond albums in the 2000s.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. I don't care.
So we can cap and try to make Marshall out to be something he's not.
Sure.
Or something he's no longer.
Sure.
There's a stage in his life.
Oh yeah.
We all of us had them little bullshit stages. We can do that and try to apply him to that in 2022. But just know that a lot of the people that's doing that have other agendas behind that hate when it comes to Marshall, because he is still to this day one of the only hip hop artists that I've seen get up on an award show and thank the pioneers instead of getting up there several times. By the way, instead of getting up there,
songs. He did it so much to the point that when Nas decided he was going to do a song called EPMD,
yes,
there were 3 people he had to have on it:
mm-hmm.
EPMD and Eminem.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
bro. Like the way it's so crazy now how people allow. Like, I get being influenced by your overall worldview. Yeah. It's hard not to be,
bro.
But at some points when like yo, he was spitting, B. And on top of that, he showed respect to the art form, which is what a lot of you dick eating ass niggas ran around here complaining, and rightfully so in a lot of cases, motherfuckers that will take on the art form and not respect. Like, yo, it's the reason why I didn't like MC Hammer.
Word.
It was more than just the music. I seen interviews where he said stuff like, yeah, I took a lot of cues from the classic. And the guy said, you mean rappers? Oh no, I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about R&B. Yo, that disdain you had for the gods, fuck out of here. Don't tell me so I'm not supposed to respect you on some hip hop shit when you don't even respect the gods. Like, nah, B. I don't have to have liked a rapidy rap from one of the ones that was the beginning of time. The fact that they formed the framework, that's enough for me.
That's enough.
I wouldn't be doing it if they didn't do it.
Yo, I am not overly impressed by hip hop. Hip.
Hell no.
I absolutely respect it.
Right. We wouldn't have this now.
Yeah, no.
If it wasn't for them. So which, by the way, is a very African way of thinking. What? We wouldn't be. This is. Yeah. I would even argue, beyond Africa, global.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call them? The indigenous folks globally, and folks that come from the old tribal traditions.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to know everything about certain tribal leaders or ancestors, whatever like that. They know these people are respected. You're not going to disrespect them. If they didn't do this, we wouldn't have this.
Thanks.
Period. That's it. That's enough. And I know some of you motherfuckers have a problem with that, but I do notice I don't ever hear y'all bigging up the pioneers.
Yeah.
But the white boy that y'all talking shit on all the time and trying to diminish what he did in that time. I see y'all. I see you.
It is. It's a thing.
You know what I'm saying? I see you.
Like I've said before on here, I don't even engage in conversations about him.
No, because it's absurd now. It's
ridiculous. I don't.
It's ridiculous.
I know how they're going to react, and I know how it's going to make me look. There's no reason for me to even.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, yo.
I have it is what it is.
Also, if
he put out 2 diamond albums,
so shut up. Listen,
back to back.
Those of you that want to act like that it wasn't a piece of what he brought into the culture that you have not co-opted, I'm laughing at you. A flow, something, a bit of irreverence in a bar, something.
Self-deprecation,
something.
Just letting the rage come out. Just deciding that this particular one, I want to rhyme.
Yeah, I just want to rhyme. All I want
to rhyme. Yeah.
I want words to rhyme.
Yeah.
I want words to rhyme.
Inside, outside, several times. That's
a rhyme within a rhyme.
Yeah. Nice. So I'm going Kanye.
This is a fact, McKenna. I read this in National Geographic. This is a fact.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a fact.
So I'm going Kanye, Eminem. Shit. Kanye, Eminem, Jay-Z for the 2000s. Kanye, Eminem, Jay-Z. Fuck. I don't want to put 50 back on there. But
hold up. He had
it came out in 2003. And he like took over for the rest of the decade.
What about notice that DMX has not been stated on?
See, here's the thing. X is one of my favorite of all time.
As far as impact,
I don't know. I don't know.
I knew a lot of dudes trying to rap like. I knew a lot of dudes trying to rap like this. I knew a lot of dudes trying to rap like this. A lot of them, and also at the time of his run, he dropped them two albums in 1 year.
Yeah,
and they both went
platinum.
Crazy.
Oh, Wayne, my bad. Yes, I bet. Thank you, cuz Wayne. So my 4 is Kanye, Wayne, J, M.
That's fair.
For the 2000s.
That's fair.
I can't be persuaded to take any of them off. Like, in my head, there's nothing. I'm so glad you said that because yes, Wayne.
Luda I think it's an honorable mention because
Luda is out of the 3 that he put in that comment. Luda is my favorite.
Here's the thing about Luda, right? When Def Jam started its imprint in the South,
Def Jam South,
it was Luda.
Yep,
that showed me that Southern dudes can rap.
Facts.
It wasn't Andre because I didn't know who the fuck Andre was. It was Luda. Luda. When I heard Luda shit, I went. I ain't used to people with Southern accents that can rap. That can rappity rap. I'm not used to that. You know what I'm saying? It's a few here and there, but Luda.
Yeah.
Luda.
He put on for the South.
Yeah, he put on. Yo.
He did. Put on for the South.
He did.
But yeah, Kanye, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Eminem. I feel like you can't. Yeah, I feel like you can't really beat that.
It's just such a false dichotomy because basically what happens is the number of faces on the Black Hills, by the way, the Black Hills, the number of faces on the Black Hills has dictated now who we had. Like this is the number we have to put up there, and that's why I said like I always had a problem.
It's relatively arbitrary.
Yeah, because it could be it's way more than.
Yeah,
man. And some of them errors, it's way more.
Right.
Because you wind up missing people.
And that's why this is so hard.
Yeah, yo, like
all right. So for the 90s, obviously, Dre. Let me do something real quick. So like I said, what I think we both agree, one of the biggest things is impact, right?
Yes.
And
I gotta say, when you start talking 90s.
Let me just look at
NWA. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Yo, the impact NWA had on the 90s is crazy. It's crazy.
You want to talk about NWA? You want to talk about the Chronic? You want to talk about Death Row?
Ice Cube.
And you want to talk about the beginning of Aftermath. So anything from NWA from the 1990 to Aftermath ending in 1999.
Right.
1999 was when Slim Shady LP came out.
1999. Yep.
1999.
And I know NWA's first album came out, I think, in 88 or it was 88 or 87, something like that. I think it was 88.
Yeah. So like, and again, the Chronic, and let me look at his. So I'm gonna do overall real quick.
87, yo. The group formed in. Hold up. All right, formed in Los Angeles City. The group formed in early 1987. They dropped. I was right. They dropped straight out of Compton in 1988.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, there's only 2 years left in that decade. Right? Yeah. From there, they just that shit defined the generation.
Right.
It defined the generation.
So I know we're talking about the 90s right now, but I just wanted to go through this with Dre real quick. All of the careers that he has either launched or helped along the way at some point. Mm-hmm. Just Aftermath. Not even talking about Death Row.
Right.
Just Aftermath.
Right.
Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, Anderson .Paak, Silk Sonic, The Firm, Rakim, 50 Cent.
That album never came out though.
Right. 50 Cent, The Game, Eve, Busta Rhymes, Raekwon, Joel Ortiz, Marsha Ambrosia, DJ Khalil, Scott Storch, High Tech. It's just so many. It's just so many people. That's just
by the way, side note. You know the reason why the Rakim and Dre thing didn't work?
Why?
Because Dre wanted Rakim to tap into the gangster side of himself, which he lived that life at one point.
Sure.
But Ra was my shit has more meaning than that. I'm not. Now I'm sure.
I feel like you could have done a mixture.
He could have found a way.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he could, but I think it may have been just the climate of the time where he didn't. Nah.
Yeah,
a lot of that gangster rap at the time, all press is good press, but it was getting a lot of fucking bad press, and not even just in circles outside of rap, like literally within the rap circle, you had respected leaders, whatever, and it was a whole thing that Rakim was viewed as, like when he dropped the that's the 19th letter. I forget the name of that album, 13th letter, something like that. When he dropped that, at this time they literally had classes in colleges over there in California about Rakim's bars. Right. And I think he like, yo, nah. I would have loved if he'd have been able to find a balance if he could have put himself in that, because I would have loved to hear him on some Dre beats. You know what I'm saying? And Dre production, overall production, including mixing, all of that, right? I would have loved to hear that. But
all right, so back to the 90s. So Dre put out The Chronic. Dre put out Dre put out The Chronic. He put out 2001, which was one of the reasons I laugh at Game to this day, because I woke up out the coma 2001, about the same time Dre dropped 2001. 2001 came out in 1999, sir. Yeah, like I don't.
Fuck is you talking about?
You
may have just heard it.
You must not understand how comas work.
Yeah.
Something is going terribly wrong.
Something's wrong.
But he also put out Dr. Dre Presents Aftermath. Mm-hmm. That album had Scarface. That album had Nas. That album had RBX, KRS-One. Mm-hmm. It had Be Real. It had Roger Troutman. Like it had a lot going on.
A lot of shit on there.
So now, that's just albums that he put out.
Right.
Production in the 90s. So he put out Miss Charlotte put out an album in 99. I mean, in 1990. NWA 100 Miles of Running, 1990. Above the Law, 1990.
Did you ever hear that Above the Law album?
No. Miss LA put out no, that's the same album. 1991, Niggas for Life. 1992, the Deep Cover soundtrack. Deep Cover.
Oh my god, yo, that song Deep Cover, man, and then it was crazy how that song spent the block, and then Big Pun and Fat Joe did what they did on it, because that the first time we was rocking with it.
Yeah, then Deep Cover 98 came out. Yeah,
yo,
yeah, it's a whole thing. So Chronic, Snoop, Nothing But a G Thing.
Smash the world.
Let me see, Doggy Style, 93. The Above the Rim, he had the Afro Puff with Lady of Rage, Rough and Tough with my Afro. Yeah, 90. That's 94. Also 94. The album Murder Was the Case. 95. The Friday soundtrack, Keep the Heads Ringing. Ring ding dong, ding 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 dong. Also 95, All Eyes on Me came out. Let me see. Like I said, 99, Slim Shady LP. 1999, Snoop dropped his No Limit album, which Dre still produced on.
Yuck.
I mean, yeah, I'm not a fan of No Limit Snoop either, but it's a thing that happened.
It happened, and that's where he actually got his money too.
Yeah, absolutely.
They made sure that man got his cake for his shit. So,
1999, Next Friday soundtrack. He had it's an NWA song,
right?
It was Chin Check, featuring Snoop. And 1999, 2001 came out. Still, DRE is one of those songs that to prove to you how big that song is, just pull up the Super Bowl performance from this year, YouTube video. And when he sits down at that piano and starts playing the song, listen to the crowd reaction.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
So 1990s, Dre. I still have to put Pac there. 1990s. Dre, Pac.
The problem with the 90s is that was such a pivotal decade for him.
Yeah.
It's just so much. It's so much.
Dre, Pac, Wu-Tang.
Oh my god, bro. Listen.
Dre, Pac, Wu-Tang. Shit. Tribe.
It's a lot, big. Like it's a lot. It's a lot.
Dre, Pac, Wu-Tang, Tribe. I feel like that's a good one. I don't feel as strongly about it as I feel about my 2001.
Yeah.
But I feel like Dre, Pac, Wu-Tang, Tribe kind of like
they help.
It gives you everything. Yeah.
You think about, so you got Tribe, Jay-Z, Wu-Tang, Snoop, Pac, Public Enemy. Yo, I hate the 90s, yo.
Here's the thing.
I hate the 90s, yo.
The only person that I can think of that I would consider putting on this list instead of someone else that I've said is Snoop. Because again, nobody did what 50 Cent did except Snoop. Right. Snoop did what 50 Cent did before 50 Cent.
He did. Yo, the 90s was so...
And that's why Dre can never come off, because the common denominator is Dre.
Facts. Yo, I mean, it's just too much. Yo, Fugees. Yo, like, Meth did his thing in the night. It's so many. Yo, it's too many, yo. It's too many.
That's why I cheated and went with Wu-Tang.
Yeah, because, that
covers a lot. Meth.
That covers a lot, yo.
You got Meth, you got Purple Tape, you got 36 Chambers.
Mm-hmm.
You got all that shit. I think, I think that's what I'm going with. I'm going with Dre. Shit, I forgot.
I don't know, yo.
I'm going Dre. Dre, Pac.
Dre has to be on there, yo. Dre, Pac, they have to be on there. You can't not have them on there.
I'm going 90s, Dre,
90s give me a headache.
Tribe, and Wu-Tang.
Yo, I'm going through this list of 90s. 90s gives me a headache, yo. It really
it's difficult. It's really difficult.
Gives me a headache, yo.
Like, because here's the thing. Here's the other reason. I one of the biggest reasons that all of those people, those four entities, are there, and this is cheating because it's not a thing that the 2010s had the luxury of having because we're only in 2022. They all either lasted into the other eras. Yes. Or directly influence one of the other people that's in this top four.
That's a fact, yo. That's a fact.
Yeah, yo, I gotta go. I gotta do it. I got it. Dre, Pac, Wu-Tang, Tribe. I can't.
Like, I feel like you can't really go wrong with that one because it literally covers both coasts.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, a lot. The more media influential genres, subgenres of hip hop, is in that 4 right there.
Yeah,
it covers a lot of that. But it's it's a lot. I forgot how many.
Yeah,
it was so influential. Like the 90s was just a crazy time. Like it's like hip hop was really found itself. It found its stride.
Like everybody was just doing shit. Like
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do this. They doing that. All right, I'm gonna do this other thing.
Mm-hmm. It's a reason, yo. It's not cap. It's the reason why people always bring up the 90s hip hop.
Yeah,
it's not cap. It's not cap. It's the reason why they always bring it up.
It was. I want to say. I understand the influence that happened before it.
It's the platinum era.
But I want to say, yo. I want to say because I was going to call it gold, but yeah, it's the platinum era.
It's the platinum era. It's the platinum era. Yo. It's platinum era. It was just so many, yo. We got so many people. People now that I still look at and be like,
yeah,
Redman. Yeah. Like, yo, it's hard. That's
the other thing. Like,
it's hard, yo. It's hard.
Yeah, like, oh man. Yeah, no, I'm going with Dre, Snoop. Mm-hmm. No, I'm sorry, Dre, Pac, Wu-Tang, Tribe. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm going with for the 90s.
Yeah,
I
ain't mad at you. Yeah. I ain't mad at you.
That's what I'm going.
Other people are gonna be mad at you, but they mad anyway.
Yeah, and I'm not a Pac fan.
I am. Well,
the rest of those.
It depends on the song.
The rest of the.
I'm more a fan of the imagery.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a fan of his ideology.
Yeah, his ideology. Yeah.
The majority of his way of thinking about things and the message that he put out.
And his big hits were still big hits. Like they were
still big hits.
You know what I'm saying? Like I could still listen to Hail Mary. Come with me. I can still hear that shit now. So it's like, all right. But as a rapper, like the technical side of it, he got way too many songs where it's like
you put that wrong. Why did you put that there?
There's a line, a whole bunch of space. And
right. What are you doing? Why do I feel like I'm listening to an instrumental? Stop.
Right. Like it's a lot of that.
It is what it is. His impact is unquestionable. There's no way. Yeah, you just come on now. There's no way.
In fact, one of the only reasons I put Jay-Z's impact over Pac's is simply because he's still affecting the culture. He's
still able to introduce things that are still influencing things. Pac doesn't have that luxury anymore.
His life and death was a thing where it influenced a lot of the way we see certain shit. I just wish more of the lessons that a lot of you niggas should have gotten from this shit, you would have took from it, or we wouldn't have so many dead rappers all the time.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, some of the lessons, we wouldn't have so many dead rappers if that was the case. You know,
but sadly, it's not the case. All right, so my 2010s, no particular order because none of this has been in order.
No,
because I don't think that's when you do a Rushmore. I don't think
it's not about order. It's not about order. Right.
No. So 2010s, Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Big Sean. 2000s, Kanye West, Jay-Z. That's funny. Anyway, Kanye West, Jay-Z, Eminem, and Lil Wayne. 90s, Dr. Dre, Tupac, Wu-Tang Clan, A Tribe Called Quest. Right. I'm going to forgive them for losing their Wild El Segundo.
I hated that song
because that was
not everything else, Joe. Then I got to meet them niggas. I met them niggas twice. Well, I met the whole crew once, and then I met Q-Tip a second time, a couple of years after that, in Baltimore. About to do a show down at the Harbor Place. And also, I just dig the way they didn't treat us crazy. Like, all right, they were still basically just getting into the game, right? But we knew who the fuck they was. And when we stopped to talk to them at the fruit shake stand, they was just real niggas. Like they entertained conversation with us. They gave us advice on what companies to send music to. Like they was just, they seemed very appreciative that they was, touring and making their music, that they came off like that. They didn't come off as motherfuckers that had been in it so long that they were jaded and cynical about it. And they sat there and talked to us. We talked for like 25 minutes. So what about that site, like talking, because we had this is back, for those who don't know, this is back when Source Magazine first came out. And that shit was still in black and white. The pictures were still in black and white. And we had the picture of them in there in one of the articles, and we noticed Q-Tip on the damn escalator going up while we were going down. The reason we recognized Q-Tip, he had that dumbass hat on. That dumbass hat, right? I was like, yo, is that Q-Tip? Sean was like, no. Yo, I think it is. So when we went down the escalator, we walked right to the other up escalator. And them motherfuckers was over there at the fruit shake stand. And me and Sean walked up to him, and Sean tapped Q-Tip on the shoulder, and he turned around. And Sean had the book open with the picture of them in it, and he put the book up next to it like, yeah, that's these niggas, and they start laughing. I think they was happy to be recognized, for real. This is before they got to the stage in their career, motherfuckers act stupid when they sing. You know what I'm saying? It was before that. You know what I mean? And they sat and they talked with us like, yo, try to get with Tommy Boy. Try to get with Tommy Boy. They are more.
Tommy Boy. No, Tommy Boy ended up not.
They ended up not being the move. At this time, he was like the one that was more liable to take unsolicited material and shit like that, because we didn't even know about that part of the game.
Right.
Like, it's very difficult to get your demo in there because it needs to be solicited. And the only way it's actually solicited is through relationships. A&R motherfucker heard y'all perform and said, yo, these guys right here, be on the lookout for their shit, this, that, and the third. Like that sort of thing. But we didn't know that shit. We was some rapidy rappers from Baltimore trying to get on. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get on. Performing locally and shit.
Right.
We ain't know.
So in summation for my Mount Rushmores, I love all of y'all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. I'm trying to make sure the top 10 is never murder you niggas.
Yo. Such a crazy. You gonna make me listen to that shit.
Oh God!
You gonna make me eat some ice. You gonna make me eat some ice cream and listen to that. Is that what the fuck you about to make me do?
Where the fuck was that coming from? What year did that come out? What year did that come out? I'm trying to figure out exactly where I was coming from. I think I might have been coming from Cancun.
Must be nice traveling.
No, hold up. 2013.
Oh, I was coming from Texas. I had performed in Heat. Was it
August 12th, 2013. So, actually, it might have been my first trip to Cancun. Yeah, it might have been my first trip to Cancun. As soon as I got off the plane, bling, 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 bling. The fuck? What happened? Is everything like? I was with my mother.
Did nukes go off?
Right. I was with my mother, so I knew she was good. I was with my somebody else. I was with a couple people. So I'm like, all right, y'all do it. And then I'm like, oh, this is
that shit was so
everybody okay? Yeah.
No.
So no. Right. Clearly.
So that's your that's a good way to sum all that up.
Those are your Rushmores.
We want to thank all of you for once again on another Saturday coming to hang out with us. We really appreciate you, especially when we get into the weeds talking about this hip hop thing. That's not necessarily all of yours. At least on they come live every day.
Right.
It's not all of y'all main prioritized music and shit.
Right.
But so we appreciate y'all hanging out, listening, being a part of the conversation, all of that shit. Please remember to go check out my man Jaded Nerd's channel.
Absolutely.
Named after himself, Jaded Nerd. You know what I'm saying? While he does a celebrity gossip beat. Also, before I go, I want to give a big shout out to Tank, kick Rolly's ass.
Facts.
Kick his ass. Salute to my man, Coach Calvin, Coach Kenny, Coach Squeeze. You know what I'm saying? Like, and all the coaches down there.
Yeah.
That all of them, they doing good work for them kids down there.
Absolutely.
They doing good work for them kids down there. That's what I appreciate the most. Also, do not forget to check out Medicine Mutants with my man, Super Side Guy.
Yeah.
And just as another reminder, our Kickstarter for the Majestic Comics issue 0 starts June 6th.
June 6th. Save the date.
Save the date. And that's also the day when the interview with Seth Andrews gets uploaded. So that's also good. Am I missing anything? Oh yeah. Deeper Dive.
Yeah, that would be another episode.
If you haven't subscribed to the Multi-World Entertainment channel yet, please do so.
Go ahead, take care of that.
Go ahead, handle that.
There's another episode. Again, I keep telling y'all it's not going to be a weekly thing, but things keep happening.
It makes you have to do. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So like, it just the best thing you can do is subscribe and ring that bell, and you'll see when the new videos come out.
Also, there's going to be, of course, more music.
Oh my God!
There's going to be more music coming out. Of course, some of you that are already on the Patreon, of course, I'll be still, every so often dropping something up there. Graydon will be dropping something up there too. But also, there's some stuff me and SBJ got going on. I got a couple, just a little joints I'm going to release after a little while. You know what I mean? Like we working.
Oh, we working. Yeah, it's happening.
We working.
It's happening.
So for my man SPJ, I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and for the greater Multi-World Entertainment family, we are out.
Peace.